To Council Rule 12 and is subject to Council Rule 7. Please remove him from the meeting. Mr. Harlan, please leave the council chambers. You have been excluded.
So, Mr. Harlan, you've been ordered removed.
Sir, you are to leave the chambers silently and immediately.
And he's refusing to do so.
Sergeants, please escort Mr. Harlan to the door.
And he's subject to Rules 12 and 7. So, Mr. Harlan, please just leave.
Alive.
Sorry to the public. Mr. Harlan's still shouting loudly enough. We can't do anything right now. Okay. So I think, Mr. President, I had gotten through the instructions.
Hello, everybody.
Sorry, Mr. Harlan's now shouting again.
It's good to see you guys.
So he's still shouting.
Let's go. Figured I'd hop on for a little bit here, guys.
So I think I gotten through the instructions. So I think the public knows to press *6. Keep one ear to the phone so you hear it in real time.
Thanks,
Turn
Mo.
down the volume on the other devices when it's your turn to speak.
My mistake.
So I think we're ready for public comment in the room, Mr. President.
Bloody Mo! We're not supposed to talk about the bloody Mo, but there's a bloody Mo winking me in the face.
Special
I'm going to
meeting
chop
agenda
it off
now,
and cut it up and make some
just run
guacamole.
through a few names and come on up if I'm among those, starting with Candido, followed by Cassandra Aranda, Heidi
It's good
Gonzalez,
to see you guys. Hello,
Jorge
hello.
Castañeda, Erica Elias, and Leticia Flores, please.
And Mr. President,
Hello,
Mr.
everyone.
Morales comes up. There's an amending motion on 13. So this is 13A. If I might read it out before
Terrible
we begin
tie.
public
He's
comment.
just terrible all the way around. What's good about the man?
So it provides that the item be amended to adopt the
I
following.
use that word man
Amend
loosely.
section 165.09A of the draft ordinance to strike and replace the following language.
Happy Friday.
And I'll explain what's being stricken and add it, and then I'll read it through as a clean version. So the words,
Guys, we still have
due to
telephonic
their
calls and
ability
people are
to pay
screaming
would be
inside a little
stricken,
bit, so we
and
got
the
a little
word
action today.
following would be inserted in their place. So the entire clause would be,
Thank you,
"The
Atomic
landlord
Bomb.
of residential real property subject to this article shall provide the relocation
And we'll be
assistance
later,
provided
live
as
later
specified
tonight.
in this section to
And-
a tenant who elects to relinquish their tenancy following
Guys,
a
I
proposed rental increase that
I bought the
exceeds the lesser
right-hand
of one,
thing we
the
needed
consumer
for our
price
phone,
index.
too.
All
Comes
urban
today.
consumers plus 5% or 10%, presented by Councilmember Rahman, and we needed a second on that.
That way my phone doesn't die after like 3 hours of filming on the road,
So,
guys. So I needed
not sure who
something
the
that
second is.
connects a tiny little cord like about that big. That's a right hand instead of the normal because it throws the gimbal off. The gimbal thinks it
sorry.
needs to
was a big
adjust and
confusion.
then it
It's
starts
Mr.
moving.
Bloomfield.
and-
Thank you.
So, yeah.
And so, Mr. Morales, I wanted to read that in before you began public comment so that you could take that into account if you would.
So I found one on eBay, ordered
I
it.
believe there's
I'm sorry,
actually
on
another
Amazon
one
rather, and comes tonight. We will be live tonight, Kathy, at 9 p.m.
Allow me to read that into.
This is the worst episode of LA Law ever.
Okay. So it's
Nothing
to
lawful going on here.
amend
Bunch of
item
bullshit.
12.
Don't
add
know,
the
Moose Knuckle.
following.
You'd have to ask
So
him.
A, amend the draft ordinance to include a severability clause. And B,
What's up,
instruct
James?
the Los Angeles Housing Department to report on renter protection policies in other cities within the city of Los Angeles, as well as to report on how the city's new renter protection may impact housing production, and thus Section E would move up.
Why don't I
from
run for
Section
council?
C,
I can't even get in the
presented by
room.
Mr. Blumenfield.
Perks. I'm
and
not
seconded by-
vaccinated, so I can't even get in there and talk to these people.
Co-presented by
Even
Mr.
as
Kosker
just a normal
and
citizen, and I pay for their
seconded
fucking
by
salaries. So do you.
Ms.
I'm
Rhodes,
his
is that
boss.
correct?
So are you.
Thank you.
We are their bosses.
Thank you.
They got that shit all fucked up. I actually think that we work for them. They work for us. That's how that works. What's up, Natalie? They
So here's an
muted.
amendment for item.
Okay, see
13.
they're muting here periodically, guys.
So it'd be amended as follows.
All right, guys, let's
A, amend the draft ordinance to include a severability clause. B, amend section 165.09A of the draft ordinance to clarify that a rent increase that would trigger the displacement provisions should be based on the contracted monthly rent for the unit, excluding any promotional rents or rent discounts. C, strike section 165.09E of the draft ordinance. D, instruct the Los Angeles Housing Department to report within 90 days on renter protection policies in other cities within the Los Angeles County, as well as to report on how the city's new renter protections may impact housing production. And E is...
You don't have to read that. Don't read the stuff that's really important.
Blumenfield, seconded by Mr. McCosker, and again,
You gotta teach him what to read and what not to read. What a fucking puppet.
Seconded by Ms. Rahman. Thank you very much.
What a fucking puppet.
I think that's all I've got, and I appreciate your patience, Mr.
I want you to
Morales.
stand here,
So
look
I see you
right
wanna talk
there,
both
and just
items,
say
so
this.
You've got 2 minutes. The floor is yours.
I am a robot.
Thank you.
I
Item,
can't do
12
anything
and
but
13.
read.
First of all, Candido Maris, formerly a homeless person back 50 years ago. And so I approve these two items. I just, again, wanted to say that I wish that you folks would have dealt with this much better. The Chesapeake apartment issue was a disaster. And to see that that was happening right here in our beautiful city when the rest of us live in such beautiful comfort and nice homes, etc., to see the people were here in this hall here and having to live that way. So again, hopefully we will move forward with this. But I still want to see what's happening with the people that come here from other states. Why aren't we going back and trying to maybe collect some of that money from them, maybe sending them back? They should be back there with their family. We have enough people in this city that we need to take care of. One of the
Will
best
News, can you send me
organizations
a
in the city
link?
is Hope of the Valley, which Mr. John Lee has worked with tremendously and has done so much for people who without homes and food, etc. So
You didn't
again,
get one on
make
Twitch? Sorry,
this
people.
a focus of what
I
you
had
do
to-
in the future. And to those new members, I'm really happy and surprised at some of the comments and things that you guys have said. And I just hope that you don't allow
Nah, they're
the
not
corrupt
shadow banning me.
system that's within these walls to take over. Because I'll tell you, the one thing you'll love about it when you leave this is that you kept your dignity, your integrity, and you
What?
served the people.
What
So,
dignity?
thank you.
What integrity? They have none
you,
of that.
Mr.
Again, Twitch, I had a problem, guys, today. It would not change. It kept saying live police chase from yesterday, and it would not change the title, so I had to remove the channel, put it back on, so maybe that's why. Oh, I apologize. Could be on my fault.
Gloria and Erica.
So if your name was called, if you'd please start.
That's why I always say follow it more than one spot. You don't have to go to the other spot that you don't like, but at least it'll notify you to go to where, oh, he's on, so let me go where I want to go,
identify
kind of thing.
yourself.
You know what I mean? Makes sense. It's just
Yo de
being
nuevo.
redundant.
No se ríe.
Okay, please.
Ok, Erika Elías. Vengo en apoyo de la 12 y la 13.
I'm here in support of 12 and 13.
Vengo a luchar por un techo digno.
I'm here to fight for a dignified roof.
Todo ser humano necesita un techo donde dormir, donde descansar.
Thanks, yes.
All human beings need a
Les
roof
pido,
where
por
to sleep
favor,
and rest.
Que pasen la 12 y la 13.
I'm asking you please to pass 12 and 13.
Thanks, Joe.
Llevo 4 meses luchando, viniendo acá y no sé, confío en ustedes.
I've been fighting for 4 months and coming here, and I don't know, I trust you.
Tengo 4 niños que me esperan ahorita que salga de aquí a irlos a recoger
I have
y
four-
darles buenas noticias
I have
que
4
vamos a tener un techo digno donde va a haber agua, luz
Slow down,
y
girl.
gas.
I have 4 kids that are waiting for me.
Just
once I
James,
get
all
out
of
here. And
those plus
I want
Twitter
you to
Live.
give Good news that we're going to have a roof with there's gas and food and a roof.
Es duro
What's up, T-Dog?
ver en las mañanas mis niños con mucho frío
It's hard to see my kids in the morning with a lot of cold.
y cuando a los 2, 3 días se me arruina la leche porque no tengo refri.
And after 2 or 3 days, my
No
milk
hay
goes
luz.
bad because I don't have a fridge.
¿Cómo cocinar?
There's no
Pónganse,
light. There's no way to cook.
pónganse en un
Where is she
poquito en mi
living?
lugar.
Put yourself in my place a little bit.
¿Qué van a recordar mis hijos? Estos 4 meses que estamos viviendo
What-
duros,
I'm not worried about
what
it,
are my kids
Boston.
gonna remember? This
Not worried about it.
months
I won't
we're
bend my knee to
living
nobody.
hard.
Come cancel.
créanme que a
That's why I
veces
wear
no
the
sé
shirt.
qué hacer.
Believe me, sometimes I don't know what to do.
Please.
Mi niña llora, tengo una niña de
Please.
5 años, llora en las mañanas del frío, tengo que ponerle un montón de cobijas.
My little girl cries. I have a little girl, 5 years old. She cries in the mornings because she's cold. I have to put her put a lot of blankets on top of her.
Y cuando ellos me piden que les haga comida, ¿dónde les cocino a veces?
And when they ask me to cook for them, sometimes
Así como
where can
yo.
I cook?
Así como yo sé que hay muchas personas más y muchos niños sufriendo.
Like me, I know there's a lot of people, a lot more, and a lot of kids suffering.
Pido por todos los inquilinos de Los Ángeles, ustedes tienen el poder de votar, el poder de decidir.
I'm asking for all the tenants in
Por
Los
favor, Los
Angeles.
Ángeles es una ciudad grande que tiene mucho dinero.
You have the power to vote and to decide. Please, Los Angeles is a city that has a lot of
Cambien
money.
las memorias de mis hijos, lo de los que
Please.
están viviendo ahorita.
Change my
Les
kids'
pido
memories.
por todos.
What they're
La
living.
12 y la 13, por favor, pasen el voto.
I'm asking for all of them to please pass 12 and 13.
Vuelvo y les repito,
I'll repeat.
pasen la 12, por favor, y la
Pass
13.
12, please, and 13.
Yeah, Boston, the ones who got canceled are the
quiero
ones that
estar
are allowed
pasando mal. Ya
themselves
pasé
to be
la Navidad
canceled. I won't
fría,
allow
fría
myself to
en
be
mi casa.
canceled, so I ain't
don't
getting
wanna go to
canceled.
this anymore.
I'm
I
gonna keep
really want
going.
Christmas, cold,
And in
very
fact, you
cold
come
in
at
the
me,
house.
I'm only gonna
Y
fucking
este año
light
no
the
sé qué
fire
vaya a
even
pasar.
more.
And I don't
'Cause
know
if you
what's gonna
think
happen
this is,
this
Pero
year.
trust me,
confío
I've been pretty
ustedes.
But I
subdued.
trust you.
Tengo la esperanza.
have my
en
I can
hope.
get
Dios
way
y
more
ustedes
fiery.
Que harán todo lo posible por mantener todas las protecciones
I have my
en la
hopes
ciudad.
in
Y
God and you that you're going to do everything possible to keep all the protections in the city.
Ok, gracias.
Okay, thank you.
A
Thank you.
gimbal,
Next
I have a
speaker,
couple
please.
gimbals that I've bought for use. You know, it's a stabilizer for your camera. So that way when I'm walking around, you don't see it hopping up and down. It makes it a lot easier for you to
Good
watch.
morning.
So I bought some
My name
parts
is
that
Javi
we needed
Gonzalez.
to continue the battery
I'm a tenant
charge.
In LA City. I saw some of you members counting the homeless. It was cold, right? It was very cold.
Thanks to Rye
and it
Davis.
was sad to see a lot of homeless, a lot of our sisters and brothers sleeping on the streets in LA City, in United States. It's very inhumane what they're experiencing. I really hope you didn't do it just to take the picture. Today you have the power to prevent more of us, more families, more kids to end up on the streets.
Thanks, Richard.
Because there is no help for kids. A lot of the public think
If it goes
there's
off,
a lot
Richard,
of
yes.
programs to help families experiencing homelessness, but it's not. And today,
Me, Nicholas.
I'm here to urge you to vote yes on 12 and 13 because you have failed to those people that are sleeping on the streets. Do not open a door to put more people on the streets when you don't know what to do with the ones that are already on the streets.
What's up, Hourglass? Shout out to you
I'm
in
a
Germany.
single mother, and it's very hard for me. When I was left without water, gas, and electricity with my 1-year-old. And my landlord sent the social worker to take my daughter away. No more. It's very hard. Please vote yes on 12 and 13. Today is the day. Please do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, guys, if anything pops off anywhere across the country tonight, I shall be live earlier than normal.
Mr.
That's how it works. I'm not going to wait till 9 and let everything go off. So I am here. So if it goes off, I will be here, and we'll see what's going on as
Next
best,
speaker is,
best as I can get it. You know.
Cassandra Aranda, followed by Gloria Castaneda.
You know what's funny? All these
and
people cry
Andrew
about the landlords
Gilman.
every day, and they cry about the homeless, but they never cry, especially about the homeless issue. They never cry to these people and say, "Hey, I want an audit of the $2 billion with a B that you took from the taxpayers 4 fucking years ago and ain't done nothing with it yet."
Please come forward.
Can we get the audit for that? They're never mad at that. I don't ever hear anybody mention an audit.
Well, I see Andrew coming forward, so we've got at least one of the three.
Show me the money. Okay, Jerry Maguire, show me the motherfucker. Turn the radio down. Show me the money. Turn it back up. Show me where that motherfucker went. Okay? Show me that you bought the $162 toilet seat that I could buy for $6 at Home Depot. I want to see it. Show me. No, it didn't go to Ukraine. It went to their families to
2 minutes for the two
take
items,
this
please
fat
begin.
son of a bitch to
All
fucking
right.
Barbados with his kids,
Okay,
his little
so-
moles.
I think you should be putting
He's the
tenant
big mole.
protections in.
Oh, my homeboy's here.
Yeah, so we're now getting to the point where a lot of tenants are at risk of eviction. Every eviction is an act of violence. Housing is a human right, and you know, I personally oppose the mayor's state of emergency because she's using it for you know, to be hostile to unhoused people. But it does seem like if there's going to be a state of emergency on homelessness, maybe you should actually have an eviction moratorium in, probably, actually, because I would tend to think if it's such a problem that you need an emergency declaration, you probably shouldn't be making it worse by having more people ending up on the street. I mean, maybe that's just a ridiculous idea to the, like, 7 or 8 of you who are landlords on this council. But, yeah, maybe, you know, or whatever it is. But, yeah, there shouldn't be,
This dude's stoned.
but, again, I oppose the emergency declaration, but, yeah, but there at least needs to be major tenant protections so that as few people as possible are at risk of eviction. There really needs to be, you know, no evictions. I said every eviction is an act of violence. There needs to be protections in so that evictions don't happen, that people are housed and are guaranteed their human right to housing. Yeah, so let's get some protections.
Yeah, so let's get some protection going. Ben Norris, I want you to look up something called triple measure, triple H.
Thank you.
Okay, like the wrestler, Hunter Hearst Helmsley,
next speaker,
triple H.
Gloria.
The measure triple H in LA. I want you to read that, Ben.
Cassandra.
Tell me what it says. Tell me how much money they got. I believe it was 1.9 billion 4 years ago.
So if your name was
For
called and
homelessness
you're still here
only,
and you
to
wanna
help
speak,
homelessness.
Please come around.
Overtaxed
to the
us.
sergeants so that
So
they
now
can
it's
let
my
you to the-
fault to help these people get
podium.
their houses. So I did. I paid in. And we all
you
did.
have one person
We all
coming
did.
in.
And now nobody's
Maybe.
crying to these guys, well, where's the money at? More and more homeless every day. And like Oscar said, they probably bought $10,000 tents that you and I could have went to Big Five got for
We'll
$100
set
a
the clock
pop.
for 2 minutes for the two items. that I wanna talk
And
about.
that's why I want the audit. Measure
Item
triple
number 12,
H.
I'm the type of landlord who wants to work with my tenants, and if it's really a minor, insignificant amount, it's in the interest of both the tenant and myself for us to work this out. So I'm largely in favor of 12. My only concern is to keep in mind that a tenant will file an eviction notice not because the amount is
1.9 billion,
material,
not
but
1.2.
because it takes a while to actually get a judgment from the court, and then the amount of rent begins to pile up to a point that's more than a material amount or an immaterial amount. As far as number 13, I do think number 13 is unfair because as I understand the ordinance, at the point of over 10%, at the tenant's volition, that tenant can declare that he or she wants to move and I have to
Oh,
pay
you're right. It was
relocation
1.2
fees
billion.
plus
Sorry.
$1,400 worth of moving costs. Well, back in the late 1970s, early 1980s, inflation was over 10%, and that could happen again. And it's not my fault if that does happen again, and yet I'm stuck on the basis of what a tenant wants or feels they're unable or unwilling to pay. They have to pay relocation fees plus moving costs. That's unfair.
Show me those 8,000 houses, or even,
And just so
and
you
that's
know,
on the
can you
bottom
let
of
us
their
know the
8 to
name you signed up on?
10,000 scale.
Repeat.
Show me
please.
the 8.
What, your name?
Oh,
Show
sure,
me.
Paul Genslinger.
Paul Gensler. Thank you. So I think we have another person who's coming in. All right. So if you let us know the name you signed up on, and I assume you want to talk on both items, so you'll have 2 minutes.
Faiza Malik.
Faiza? Okay, so please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, council members. My name is Faiza Malik, and I'm a supervising attorney at Public Counsel, speaking in support of items 12 and 13. Public Counsel strongly supports the non-payment eviction threshold and relocation ordinances as amended and urge the council to adopt them today. Yesterday, 11 legal aid organizations, including public counsel, submitted a legal letter in support of these ordinances. They are valid exercises of the city's power to regulate the substantive grounds for eviction. Neither ordinance is preempted by state law. The council must not capitulate to threats of litigation. Our organizations have been fighting to adopt and defend strong housing policies for decades, most recently supporting the city in defending the city's eviction protections. Collectively, our organizations represent thousands of low-income tenants facing eviction and housing instability in Los Angeles. Eviction filings are already at pre-pandemic levels. We are deeply concerned that lifting protections without adopting robust permanent policies will trigger a wave of evictions and homelessness that we have been fearing since the beginning of the pandemic. Nearly 3 years into the pandemic, the circumstances remain dire for many of our most vulnerable residents. Many continue to carry large amounts of unaddressed rent debt. They continue to be worried about making the rent next month. Many tenants in non-RSO units are facing outrageous rent increases. For these reasons, we strongly urge the council to adopt items 13 and 12.
Look at the date.
They are reasonable policies to address our rent crisis. They are legal policy solutions. I want to end by noting that I'm a renter myself, and I live on the west side in Council District 11. My family rents a single-family home from a mom-and-pop landlord. Thanks to the council's vote last week, today I got just cause protections. However, I also got a huge rent increase a few months ago, but thankfully I have a steady, good-paying job. Many of my neighbors are not in the same situation, so I'm calling on my council member Tracy Park to do the right thing today for her renters by voting in favor of items 12 and 13. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Cassandra, Gloria, Leticia, and Charles.
Come on, man. Fuck. Bro, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, hi. So, sorry, we'll set the clock for 2 minutes. I'm sure you want to speak on both. Please begin.
Audit of LA's homelessness measure shows the cost per housing unit. 837,000. How many of you have an $837,000 house?
Keep LA House Coalition.
And how does a homeless person take care of an $837,000 house?
These are fair and reasonable policies that will significantly improve housing stability for LA City's renters, and it will help prevent homelessness.
Insane.
Renters that are forced to move out after receiving a large rent increase should get some relocation assistance to help them find a new home. This won't cause hardship for landlords, and it will make it much easier for tenants to find housing. It's fair, it's reasonable, and it's something the city can do today. A tenant who has paid the rent month after month, year after year, should not face eviction if they get sick or lose their job and fall short on 1 month's rent. Tenants should have some buffer, some leeway before they face eviction. This policy is fair, it's reasonable, and the city has the power to do it today. The city's emergency protections are ending next week, but this doesn't mean we need to go back to the way things were before the pandemic. We've learned important lessons that we should not ignore. We know how to prevent evictions, even in the face of economic disruption and severe illness. These policies the council is considering
promised 10,000, 8 to 10,000, and only 1,042 were built.
Regulations that will make a big difference in tenants.
Where's your billions,
and
ladies and gentlemen?
Communities.
Where's your
Please
billions?
vote yes on items 12 and 13 today. Thank you.
Where's those billies at? 1.2 billion could only build 1,100, not even 1,100, barely.
Jonathan Yeager.
Okay, great. So you have 2 minutes for the items. Please begin.
Thank you. My name is Jonathan Yeager. I'm a staff attorney with the Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles and a renter in District 5. Items 12 and 13 are common sense policies, and we encourage you to adopt them as amended today. When tenants have a temporary disruption in income, the last thing they need is to be evicted. Anyone with the flu or with COVID should feel comfortable staying home to recover. Anyone should feel comfortable changing jobs, even if the new payroll doesn't line up. Tenants should not worry what one missed paycheck will mean for their housing stability. When a tenant is given a massive rent increase, they should not be in the position of deciding whether or not they can to pay something they can't afford or make a last-minute move to another home they also might not be able to afford on top of the moving expenses. Any chatter about the legality of these policies is a distraction. 11 law firms submitted a letter yesterday detailing their solid legal footing. Don't let spurious threats of litigation, motivated by self-interest rather than public policy, distract you for voting yes on items 12 and 13 today. Thank you.
Look at them all sidebarring, not even paying attention, no fucks given. Only one clapping is a dude back there listening. He's the only one listening.
Charles, Cassidy, and
hysterical.
Diana.
Are you Charles?
That's exactly what it is, Sailor.
I am not.
Each and every one of these motherfuckers are clown, disgusting pieces of dog
So we
shit.
have 2 minutes
Piles
left
of
for me
dog
to
shit.
speak
That's
on
what I
both
see when I
items, so
look
the
at
floor
them.
is yours. Thank you.
Just a pile of hot dog shit
Good
steaming on a
afternoon. My
lawn.
name's Sasha Harnden. I'm an attorney with the Inner City Law Center, and I'm here.
Every
in
one of
support
them. Not
items
one do
12
I
and
not
13.
think
I
that
understand
about.
There's been
Not
a threat of litigation,
one.
as outlined in the letter that's been referenced that you've all received. That threat is without merit. Courts have repeatedly affirmed the right of cities to regulate the reasons for eviction and address their destabilizing impacts in our communities. These 2 ordinances are the only policies in the package of permanent protections
Oh, they call
that
them
address the
out,
most urgent and immediate threats
They don't listen
to
anyways.
housing stability
They don't care.
across Los
They're
Angeles.
obtuse.
The need for renters to address large
They
amounts
got what they
of
wanted,
COVID
your
rent
vote.
while making
They're there.
prospective rent going forward as incomes continue to lag and rents continue to rise. This is a no-brainer. We urge you to pass the 2 ordinances as amended. Thank you.
I'm hitting all the good stuff. Sorry, I didn't see that. I'm hitting all the good weed came in, man. I got all the fresh stuff. Fresh gelato cake, fresh pure kush. A little bit of God, what is that?
Hello, my name is Cassidy Bennett.
Great. Please begin.
Great. Thank you. I'm an attorney at the Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles and a tenant in District 10. I'm here today in solidarity with the Keep LA House Coalition to request that you pass items 12 and 13 as amended. We need a minimum threshold for failure to pay. As an organization that handles many eviction offense cases,
Yes,
LAFLA
that's what I
sees
called you,
evictions
Boston.
pursued against tenants who are only a few dollars behind on their rent.
That's what I
We
called
must
you,
do
Brooks.
everything we can to protect tenants from eviction for small amounts of rent debt when tenants are struggling to pay back COVID debt on the city's timeline and continue making rent going forward so they can stay housed. The non-payment clause is not legally preempted. This proposed ordinance is a substantive change, not procedural. It's regulating a ground for eviction, not the process of eviction itself. For tenants who are evicted, we need to implement relocation assistance for everyone, because when tenants are displaced and we're already barely able to afford to make rent, they will end up on the street without it. This relocation requirement is not illegal either, as public entities are still permitted to regulate the basis of an eviction.
So who's
This
paying for
ordinance
it?
does not affect the ability to set the amount charged. It just ensures that tenants who have to move out after receiving a large increase in rent receive financial assistance to help cover the high cost of the moving expenses.
Who's paying for that cost of moving?
We urge you to pass items 12 and 13 as amended so that we can have permanent protections in place to protect our tenants. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to know who's paying. Are you paying, lady? Like, apparently you're counting everybody else's money. I guarantee it. You're counting everybody else's money. They gotta pay. They gotta pay.
Hello.
Makes sense.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Maria Leriget.
Hi, Maria.
Me inscribí tarde. Por favor,
Sure, translation. Yes.
Signed up late.
I do speak a little bit English, but you know.
We can happily translate. So
Okay.
let's restart your clock.
Let's restart
Me
your
inscribí
clock.
tarde,
I signed up late.
pero
But-
también estoy en favor de la 12 y la 13.
I'm also in favor of 12 and 13.
Yo no estoy en la posición de muchas de las compañeras que escucho.
I am not in position like other friends that I heard.
Yo pago mi renta a tiempo,
I pay my rent on time,
pero el dueño va a vender su casa.
but the owner is going to sell his house.
Y como ustedes ven, yo soy señora mayor.
And as you can see, I'm a senior citizen lady.
Y tengo miedo
And I'm
terminar
afraid.
en la calle,
I'm
porque tú sabes que lo que me mandan en el seguro social no va a ser suficiente para pagar una renta.
I'm afraid to end up on the streets because, you know, what they pay me for Social Security is not enough for me to pay rent.
Las rentas, no es que no haya apartamentos.
It's not that there's no
Lo
apartments.
que pasa es que subieron las rentas tantísimo
What happens is that the rents went up
que ya
so
no
much
las podemos pagar.
that we can no longer pay them.
Entonces, ¿qué es
So-
lo que va a pasar?
So what's going to happen?
Vamos a terminar mucha gente en la calle.
A lot of people are going to end up on the streets.
Por favor,
Please,
ayúdenos.
Help us.
Yo sé que muchos de los councilmen no están aquí,
I know that a lot of the council members are
pero
not here.
pueden hablar con ellos y pasar esta ordenanza
But you can-
para que nosotros podamos vivir tranquilos,
But you can talk
en
to them and pass
paz.
this ordinance so we can live in peace.
Por eso es que hay muchos robos en la calle, porque
That's why there's a
tienen
lot
que
of
tratar de hacer su vida.
that's why there's a lot of stealings
Así
on
es
the
de
streets
que
because they have to do their own
ustedes
lives.
nos ayudan y la ciudad vive tranquila.
So you help us, and the city will be living calm.
So, por favor,
So please
escúchenos.
listen to us.
Yeah,
Yo
right.
vivo en su
They're listening to
distrito de
nobody.
ella, en el primer distrito.
I live in her district,
Y-
first district.
Es un lugar tranquilo y hermoso.
And it's a calm and
He
beautiful
vivido
place.
ahí por 20 años
I've lived there for 20 years.
y nunca ha habido problemas.
There has
Pero
never
el
been any
problema
problems.
viene ahora que si yo me quedo sin casa.
But the problem is coming now if I ended up with no home.
So, por favor,
So please,
yo sé que no hay nadie acá de este lado.
I know that there's no one on this side
¿Quién va a votar por nosotros?
who's going to vote
Si
for
no
us
están,
if they're not here.
necesitamos que se presenten, por supuesto.
We-
No están, pero sí agarran su paycheck, you know.
We need for them to show up in their positions. They're not here,
So-
but they do get their paycheck.
Todos tienen que estar aquí para escucharnos.
They all have to be here to listen to us.
¿No es cierto?
Isn't it truth?
¿No es cierto?
Isn't it truth?
Aunque no queremos
No,
a
listen.
Kevin de
No,
León,
no,
pero que
Kevin
esté
de
aquí,
León.
aunque sea
For him to be here.
para que vote.
For him
Thank
to
you.
vote.
Kevin
you.
Martin,
Gracias,
yes,
gracias.
they want eminent domain. They just want to take everybody's property, I'm assuming, and just, yeah. And a lot of people just want to live for free. Like the guy said with the mask, it's a right. It's to have a house. I'm guessing for free.
Okay, is Diana?
So yeah. And again, when you build an $800,000 house, how are they paying utilities? Who's cutting the lawn? Who's paying the property taxes on an $800,000 house? Which I hate to break it to you, is about, I don't know, $8,000 to $10,000 a year just for the property taxes here, even if you gave them the home.
Want to speak? Please come up.
Who's paying for all that? Or is that exempt too?
Signed up that we
Because if
haven't
that's
called
exempt too,
for?
let me know. I'm just going to be homeless now. I'm going to sit there and just get the grift on.
Well, there's
Let me
possibly
sit
one
home and
person
do
that I
nothing and get the grift on. I ain't got to pay
you
rent.
do.
I ain't got to
No.
do this.
No.
I ain't got to
Okay.
do that.
So I think, Mr.
Give me
President,
my
we just
$800,000,
everybody in the chamber
$137,000
wants to speak, so we can go to
house.
the phone lines.
Okay, let's open up the phone lines.
Phone lines,
For
let's
those
go.
who wish
Let's go.
to Speak.
So when it's your turn,
Big
I
Money
assume you're
Griff calling
speaking on
in.
12 and 13. So you'll just have 2 minutes and you can start. Remember to keep one ear to the phone. Press *6 as soon as you hear it's your turn.
Caller, please state the items you'd like to speak on. Caller, last
No,
four
this is
digits,
mom and pop
15,
landlords too,
29,
Jim.
press
Don't trip.
*6 and state the
Jimmy
items you'd like
Crackhorn.
to speak on.
That's everything because the mom
So
and pops are
speakers
fighting
with
because
the
they're
last
lumped
four
in
digits,
with the
15,
commercial
29.
owners.
If you're on the phone and
So
want to
stay
speak,
listening.
press *6 right now. No? Okay, I think we ought to move on to the next person.
Yeah, hopefully Woody calls in again. He's going to call
Caller,
in.
please state the items you'd like to speak on.
Nobody even calling in. Everybody's not even calling. Nobody talking.
Caller, last four digits 6043. Please state the items you'd like to speak on.
So speaker with the last digits. I think
Greetings, yes.
Hey.
This is Brilliant Gospel. I'd like to speak Actually, I and a lot of people have been holding since earlier, so we really called in to speak on other items. Is that still available?
So unfortunately not at this point. We're just on the tenant protection items, which are 12 and 13. So we'll set the clock for 2 minutes if you'd stick with those items, please.
What a joke.
And the floor is yours.
Talk about what you want to talk about.
Okay, so that's unfortunate that we've been on since 10 o'clock, and now we aren't given an opportunity to speak on the other items. But
2 hours and
as
almost
far
a half.
as tenant protections, yes, most definitely. Tenants need them, but this cannot be a either or where tenants are protected and then small landowners are left out. We need to be looking at the banks. Why is it the small property owners are in the situation they're in? Are the banks continue to be allowed to prey on them as they have been all the rest of us in our communities? If so, they also need to be held accountable and factored into the solution to this. And just to go into a general comment that I was denied earlier.
So we're actually sorry, Speaker. We're not taking general public comment on a special meeting. So, but if you have more time, so if you want to talk about items 12 and 13, you've got another minute and some. Do you want to talk more about those?
Okay, so back to the protections to prevent more homelessness in this city right now. Yeah, it just comes down to funding. Like I was saying, funding for both tenants, funding for the property owners. People have been told they'll have a year to pay back rent. But if they don't have the means to pay that back rent, then there needs to be more universal income or something to help folks out. Because either way, we're still looking at a increased housing crisis out here if that is not addressed. But yeah, overall, this is ridiculous, especially for those of us who are calling in through the phone. Batteries are dying, having to do other business on our phones, and then held 2 hours later and still can't even speak on what we called to speak on. No to the police, no to Chief Moore. We stand with Jason Reedy. Black power.
Thank you, Speaker.
It's fucked up. Dude, he's absolutely right. Been sitting there for 2 hours. These motherfuckers tell him what they can and can't talk. I'll talk about what the fuck I want, motherfucker.
Like to speak
Shut
on.
your mouth, mole. So you need to talk to him like that. They don't understand nothing unless you talk to them like that. Because none of these people would talk to you like they do in public.
15,
Not one of them.
press star 6.
Not one of them would have
Yes,
the guts or
I'm
nuts.
speaking on item 12. and
They'd be
13.
quiet as a church mouse
So,
in public.
I'm one of the few people on this call that's actually a mom and pop landlord. And it hurts me to hear about other people's experience. But just like the gentleman said before, there's two sides to this. So let me share my side. Well, I want you to vote no, which is not going to happen, but I'm asking you to vote no. As a landlord, my tenant wasn't paying rent before the pandemic, didn't pay rent during the pandemic, and there's no expectation of her paying rent after the pandemic. So we have landlords out there who are hurting. We have landlords out there who can't pay their mortgages. We have landlords out there who have to pay extra money for the RSO fee. You have to pay extra money on the water. Your insurance went up. You can't do any capital gains improvements on the property because if you were making a profit, that profit is gone.
I agree, Jay.
So as a small mom and pop, we are hurting also. It's not just the tenants. The mom and pops are hurting. My tenant owes me over $50,000.
Wow.
I can't put a new roof on my apartment building. I can't put in heating and air conditioning units to make it more comfortable because there is no profit. And that's the only way you could improve the living of your tenants. So my option is to take my apartment building off the market or sell it to a developer who's going to put up a unit and then charge 3 times as much rent than what I'm charging for my tenant.
Jimmy Crack
And
on,
this
you
is what
listening?
you guys are forcing landlords to do. You need to consider us when you make these decisions
Thank you.
in
Thank you,
what's
Speaker.
fair for
Jimmy
everybody.
Crackhorn, that there would be the mom and pop landlord. That's not the big
Caller,
corporation.
please state the items
So
you'd
you're
like
wrong.
to speak
I
on.
just told you. They're lumping them together. And she just told you that. Heard it from the fucking horse's mouth.
Caller last four digits 0324. Please
I
press
heard the
star
horse say
6.
it right now.
So, speaker with last four digits 0324. If you're there, please press.
That
star
wasn't a
6
big
right away.
corporate woman who owns 9 fucking buildings. No.
So if they're not
No.
pressing star 6,
That's
I
one
think we gotta
person,
move on.
probably owns one property, struggling to pay for it, about to lose it because the rent
Hello.
wasn't getting paid.
Hi. So you'd like to speak on items 12 and 13 about the tenant protections?
Yes, I was speaking on the tenant protection.
But I know, nobody likes facts.
Look at everything that comes into play. I don't know if you're going to allow me to speak, but the ordinances that you're putting into play, especially down in Leimert Park or Africa Town, where people gather together to.
So, yeah, we're really limited right now to just the tenant protection
Okay.
issues in 12 and 13.
You
to
talk
be
what
able
you
to
want to
pay
say,
rent
lady.
when you don't actually allow them to make money. What y'all doing is ridiculous, and I'll land my plane.
So I think the speaker is hung up. If that's the case, we'll go on to the next speaker.
She get by private lender, so
Speaker,
now you
please.
know her backstory. I got it. I got it. Got it. Jimmy, you should be on this
Speaker,
horseshoe.
please state the items you'd like to speak on.
You need to be on this horseshoe. You're about as worthless.
Are you there, speaker?
Hi, can you hear me?
We can. So
Hi.
you'd like to speak on the
Yeah.
tenant protection items?
Yes, sir. I'm a small mom and pop landlord. Quick question before I speak. The item 12, is it saying that if my tenants don't pay rent, I can't evict them, or how long is it going to be for? Is it until end of March?
So please, this is your turn to speak, Jess, so please continue.
He's asking you a
so
question.
I would
You
like
can't
to talk
answer
about item 12 and 13. I request that vote no against it. It's going to impact me significantly as a landlord. My tenants are behind almost $60,000 rent for last 7-8 months, and my house is being damaged. They don't let me go into the house and fix them. My question is, would there be any rent relief for me from the city, because you are taking my property and allowing other people to stay there indefinitely?
That's
You're
right.
not opening your doors for all these people to move into your house.
Eminent
But
domain.
You're taking my house and my income and helping these tenants who have a good job in entertainment industry, and the husband is a regional vice president for an insurance company, national insurance company. They make $20,000 a month, and they're hiding. They're taking they're just defrauding the system. Second question is the $30,000 limit of payment. I heard, is this going to impact us? And the second thing, item number 13. Is this required payment of specified relocation assistance? Why am I, as a landlord, have to pay my tenants to move out? You pay them. The city council, you create a fund and you pay them so they can move out. They're waiting for that money from you, not from the landlords. They're holding all these homes hostage. I have a friend who is a multi-unit landlord. He had 15 tenants. Recently, 4 of them moved out finally after
Thank
3
you.
years.
Thank
And
you, speaker.
Now he's
Now you got hung up on.
Caller, please state the items you'd like to speak
They
on.
don't give a fuck about nothing. Eminent domain, ladies and gentlemen, without just saying it. That's
Hi,
what's
this
happening.
is Matt Sherman with the Apartment
Eminent
Association of
domain.
Greater Los Angeles. I'm speaking on agenda item 12 and 13.
Excellent. So you have 2 minutes. The floor is yours.
And again,
sir.
I didn't
And
hear him
you
talk
speak
about
a little louder if you could.
Many
in the
different
microphone.
units, just one.
Sure, well, there can
I owed him
thank
60
you very much
grand.
for the time.
Same with the other lady.
For nearly 3 years, the city's small mom and pop responsible housing providers have been subjected to COVID-19 mandates and face challenges in collecting rent while maintaining the city's already scarce, naturally occurring affordable housing during a period of skyrocketing building
Of course not, John
and
Stein.
operational costs.
Or Steen.
As the city's eviction moratorium is ending, these
Stein.
harmful draft ordinances are being fast-tracked in the complete absence of meaningful stakeholder engagement and thoughtful evaluation of the negative impacts these ordinances will have on the city. A fair and just law for rental housing providers and renters alike cannot be created, adopted, and implemented in the span of a week. The first draft ordinance imposes a monetary threshold which would broadly apply to all renters, irrespective of a renter's monthly rent, financial situation, or basis for withholding full payment of rent, and affords any renter under any circumstances the opportunity to unilaterally reduce their rent payment. There are no restrictions on usage and how often one can simply pay less than what is due, effectively condoning delinquent rental payments. Second draft ordinance will require housing providers of buildings not subject to either the city's RSO or AB 1482 to pay significant relocation fees as a lump sum payment to any renter who moves out following the specified rent increase, regardless of their financial needs, an issue raised during the committee discussion and unresolved in the draft ordinance. Aside from the very problematic details, we believe that the ordinance will legally regulate the amount of allowable rent increases rental housing providers may issue, and that the city is exempted under Costa-Hawkins. We call on the city council to reject these draft ordinances, which will force more small business rental housing providers to leave the industry and intensify the loss of already limited affordable housing hurting the entire community. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Speaker. So, next speaker.
Caller, please state the items you'd like to speak on.
Yes, it's Eric Previn, and I've been waiting to speak on the regular agenda.
For sure, Oscar.
Is that available at the moment as
So
well
it's
as 12 and
not.
13?
The only things that are
special vote?
available are the tenant protection issues and items
It's
12 and
not.
13 in the special meeting.
Right, in
So-
the special meeting. I love special meetings.
So we'll set the clock
As
for
you
2
know,
minutes.
I am the special meeting. I'm the special meeting man, and I'm going to tell you that I think that we have to scrupulously try in these special meetings not to use them as a way to kind of block other speakers like the plaintiff who called in a few minutes ago. So I think we have to really try to do a little better job. But tenant protections are so important. Tenants need to be protected not only from rent increases and from eviction, of course, but also from corruption. You know that? And that is one of the things that we need to be put in, because these kinds of devices where you can't talk about the mayor's special recognition to commemorate the entire 9 years of service, because you're supposed to be protecting the tenants on eviction. It's not appropriate. It's not appropriate to do that because it mocks the actual urgent need of the people who need tenant protections by doing it like that, by suffering the regular folks who are interested in the other business that the city's doing, by dragging them into something that is so important. And by the way, road traffic victims are also important, which we were talking about. And I want to just congratulate 5 women transportation. That actually got me a little moved as a father. That's the first
all
time
very interesting,
in the history.
Mr. Previn, but can we stick with
What's
the
that?
two? Can we stick with items 12
Yeah,
and
but
13?
you don't
please?
want to, Fable, use a little bit of, you're such a polite guy. When a man is honoring the
Fievel?
5 women who run
So,
transportation,
Mr.
on
President,
road victim recognition day.
Please go on
for
to
God's
12
sake.
and
Okay,
13.
fine, I'm going back to tenant protections. Yeah, let's just stay on the tenant protections because the special
Fievel.
meetings, for a long time, these special meetings on tenant protections were, they would bring them up and say, you can't talk on the
Oh,
items.
the Fievel. Little rat. Isn't that a little rat?
Little
Fievel,
kid
wasn't that a
from
rat?
the city said, what?
Little mouse,
That's not
little
gonna
rat.
happen. And they overturned it, and never can speak on the items and talk about how they do need the protection. But I thought even the apartment association is talking at their loudest and saying that the mom and pops are drowning in there's no legitimate plan for anything. So it is a point, but it's not. Doesn't mean we want to put people out. We have to protect the people. What is our big plan? I would say.
Joshua, just Battlefield 2042. Shout out to
Thank
the
you,
mole,
Mr.
though.
Previn.
Hey,
Next
shout out to the
speaker.
mole.
Take this quarter. Go downtown and have a rat
Caller,
gnaw that
please
thing
state
off
the
your
items
face.
you'd like to speak on.
Hello, I'm a landlord, and my hands are made of gelatin desserts. I'm a weeble who wobbles but won't fall down, and without my tenant's paycheck, I will starve. I won't be able to eat any caviar, and I won't be able to dine at LA's fine Michelin star restaurants if you do not allow me to throw my tenants to the cold and raise rent.
To the
Without
cold.
threat of starvation and homelessness, my colleagues won't be able to suppress wages and keep workers in their business to generate the revenue to create capital to buy more property to create more wage slaves and renters. You cannot pass these items, for I cannot work. I need my tenant's paycheck. My assets are my only means to survive and vacation. So please, please, because my hands are made of gelatin desserts, keep my tenants to work and make them give me their paychecks. Please. Thank you.
Go to sleep, crazy lady.
Speaker.
Caller, please state the items you'd like to speak on.
Hi, can you hear me? We sure can. You want to speak on the 2 tenant protection items?
Yes. Jaime 12 and 13, please.
Please go ahead.
How many cats?
Dear City Council, there is no doubt housing is an important topic for Angelenos. I urge the Council to come up with a more balanced path forward instead of rushing patchwork legislation, which will have the opposite effect overall, and only a minority will benefit short-term in affordable housing. To save naturally occurring affordable housing, there should be an emphasis on the mom and pop and delineate from the corporate landlord after what the city and professional tenants have done to us. The current imposed ordinances and approach do nothing but attack mom and pops more. After 3 years of being asked to shoulder the burden of a worldwide pandemic, there is now imposition to trap mom and pops in harmful policies, many of which would have never entered the business with these regulations in place. When is the city going to allow mom and pops to make decisions for themselves? Ironically, the council likes rent control type policies as it gives the perception of lower rent. Yet, all the minimum rent threshold policy will do is force providers to have higher rent to abate the downfalls of this policy. There is no incentive to offer discounted rent if economic displacement is penalizing small providers from adapting to market conditions when warranted. Economic displacement will just force small providers to always raise rents to market to not be caught off guard. All these protections, quote unquote, will end up hurting tenants at the end and diminish affordable housing supply. I urge the council this one-size-fits-all approach needs to be reconsidered with something more nuanced. The city attorney needs to enforce ethics standards consistently. If Councilmen Krikorian and Price are advised to recuse themselves from housing policies, then the same standard should be held to other council like Yaroslavsky, a housing provider, and Soto Martinez, a renter who directly benefits from such policies. As a single unit provider, all I ask for is equal representation. Please order Councilmember Yaroslavsky and Soto Martinez to recuse themselves also. Vote no on 12 and 13. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. So next speaker.
Let's get us a good one. Come on, Big Money. We're Big Money.
Caller,
Griff.
please state the items you'd like to speak on.
I didn't even notice my homeboy's sitting right here where I'm at. Look, he's right
Caller,
there.
last
Look at him
four
twisting his hair.
7783.
Look at him, dude.
Please press star
like he
6.
already ain't combed it and probably washed it in a week. And look at him.
So speaker, if you're there,
Just sitting there in the front row,
right away.
twisting it up,
I think
trying to
it was,
make some dreads.
Can you remind us of the last
Hello?
one? Oh, hi. Great. So do you want to speak on the tenant protection ordinances?
I do. I've got a short page to read here.
Go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
Okay, we are life partners on
It
a
has
small
bugs.
rent-controlled duplex in San Pedro, and one tenant is not paying rent for years except for one recent month. Previously, neither was paying, and expenses continue to occur. We're not a big bucks corporation. Even one tenant not paying is a 50% reduction to us. The non-paying tenant, unpaid since the beginning of the program except by public funds until May 22, no more since then, has been driving a high-end BMW, sporting expensive fingernail treatments. Don't dare to look at them in bright sunlight. Apparently leaves minor children home alone, but we can't check on that. Is employed. She was wearing a uniform from where she was working, and it's not just a retail job. Causes frequent damage to the apartment, most recently unreported broken windows allowing heavy rain into the apartment. While we've received partial income from public funds, one recently paid month rent, the BMW lady is currently in arrears for $16,155 and climbing, not counting constant repairs. And unless the city or the state picks this up, we'll never see
Hey,
it.
Spock, you better be
Complicated compensation
Staying out
program
in
that
here.
was better than nothing is now defunct. Trying to get all the paperwork
Get your ass
filed for
kicked
both
out.
tenants and the management company, and we're elderly with illnesses and unable to fully manage the apartments. The management company wouldn't do much extra work on the program. Action taken was another nightmare in itself. This form of income is unreliable, inconsistent, far less than current. Cash flow was always way behind. On our small budget for this apartment, it was just not up to the needs of properly maintained.
Sound like an
buildings.
enabler, Slade.
Now with the program dead, we have no path at all.
So maybe people should just go eat food and not pay for it, and fuck it if they can't pay for it, right?
Program begins again, it is
Sound like a
essential
bum, Slade.
that tenants bear some responsibility in
Fucking
this
leech.
effort. Often they don't bother to do the required paperwork to qualify them for payment. They can't be evicted, so why make an effort? As a result, no funds are available to pay their overdue rent. It's only fair that tenants must have some responsibility in this process, at least that of properly making the application for assistance.
Thank
Without
you.
this effort on their part, they should be an actionable default.
Thank you.
Not only.
Thank you.
I don't know, BJ. We'll see.
Caller, please state the items you'd like to speak on.
Seems to be the consensus.
I'd like to comment on passing tenant protection.
Yes, so you have 2 minutes for items 12 and 13. Floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Laura Espinosa, and I'm speaking on behalf of the students of the Los Angeles City College, a campus whose students go ignored in District 13, perhaps because the student body is over 80% Latinx, Black, and low income.
Latinx?
We are falling into homelessness at a high rate. 1 out of every 5 students in Los Angeles community colleges are homeless. This harsh truth has affected enrollment at LACC, as seeking higher education in the city is now synonymous with undue strife. The COVID pandemic, the recent inflation, and high rental rates have amplified our student struggles. The students have put together a report on the matter, which is currently under review by the Hugo Soto Martinez's team. And they're doing a great job, by the way. They've been very helpful.
Fabulous
The
job.
students of LACC have a
Fabulous.
critical need for tenant protections. For students that systemically go ignored,
Who knows,
passing
Salvador?
these tenant protections is the least you can do to help. For us, these are not just tenant protections, they are student protections. Thank you. I yield my time.
She's, one of those people that probably want you to call her a pronoun instead of her
Caller, please state the
given
items
name.
you'd like to speak on.
Guaranteed. Salvador. It's good to see you, Sal.
Please.
Sure, you have 2 minutes. Floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, sir. The public is saying to the council, has said several times, you have the power, you have the power. Public, they don't have the power.
This is a good guy.
We, the public, have the power. They only have the power we give up.
That's right.
Need to understand that. They only have the power we give up.
That's right.
Current Price is recusing himself. This guy owns a relocation company. That means he makes money from evictions. You have Current Price sitting there. Yes, he's supposed to recuse himself, but a criminal. There is no shortage of housing. There's a shortage of affordable housing. Brought on by this city council in their years of subservience to the big developers, the big industry. I have rental units. Renters need some of these protections. I know that. However, the small providers, as they are calling in, on the other hand, are exposed in these motions. This work is a patchwork. It should have been done a long time ago, should have been started a long time ago, but City Council is too busy lining its pockets. This needs to be reworked so that some of the small providers have some protections also. But however, again, I am for these protections, but as some of the callers are calling in, the small providers, so-called mom and pop, need protection also. The City Council doesn't protect anybody but themselves. That's the way it is. That's the way it has been. But we, public, we have the power to change that. Vote all of these criminals out of our City Hall.
Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, Nico Pico.
Caller, please state the items you'd like to speak on.
Items 12 and 13.
Great. So you have 2 minutes. Please begin.
What's up, Benz?
Thank you. My name is Paula Jerez. I am a mom and pop landlord. My husband's mother and father were also mom and pop landlords. And we are presented with an opportunity that we now need to sell our fourplex because only 2 tenants are paying. We have always been great landlords. We don't raise the rent. We take care of the property. We fix things when they are broken. During COVID, we had 2 heaters go out, and immediately they were replaced. We only qualify for the financing based on 75% of the income that comes in from the property goes towards us qualifying. We are not millionaires that can afford to keep paying the bills of other people. It is illegal to take away a contractual agreement with a swipe of your pen. I invite all of you to spend a week with mom and pop landlords and see what we go through to try to make sure that we treat people how we want to be treated, and we are routinely not treated in that same fashion. It is appalling that you would make such great changes without input and time and transparency. This has been going on since 2019, and at every time there looks like there might be a hope that people are taking advantage of this. We might actually get some resolution, and it's extended or it's increased. We are at our wits' end. I took in a mom from my daughter's preschool class because she was going through a nasty divorce. She didn't qualify, but we knew she would do everything.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. We don't care anymore.
Caller, please state the items you'd like to speak on.
Thank you. I don't care.
Fred Sutton with the California Apartment Associations, item 12 and 13, please.
Absolutely. So you have 2 minutes, and the floor is yours. And if you could speak a little louder into the mic, please. You're a bit soft.
Stinkums is the best.
Thank you. Fred Sutton with the California Apartment Association. Our members help house Los Angeles. Honorable council members, these items are being rushed. The housing report contains no analysis of any form and no review of possible unintended consequences. Nor has there been any
I'm sure there is, Mike.
feedback outside of
They
1
copy
minute
the
of
good
public
shit,
comments
Mike.
and 2
But
committee
there's
meetings
only one original,
jammed
Mike
with other
Armstrong.
items. It is ripe for abuse. This is reflected through the absence of any study in the file. Something was just posted there in the last 24 hours from the housing department. That should be looked at in committee, not before full council. This is not how public policy should be created. Pointing to the end of the moratorium and deeming these policies as needed to be fast-tracked for emergency purposes is wrong. The state implemented permanent protections for individuals impacted by the pandemic and provided billions in assistance. There is a better solution. Ultimately, this aims to help individuals that are facing temporary financial gaps. The city should create a permanent emergency rental subsidy program that could be drawn upon for these types of situations. The pandemic further showed direct monetary assistance is the best way to solve these issues. This should not fall on an individual or a business owner.
Thank you, Kyle
Not only are
Evans.
these proposals bad policy,
Appreciate you,
but
Kyle.
they are preempted by
Happy
state
Friday.
law. Our legal concerns were outlined in a letter submitted to the committee and are in the public file. We should be working together on good policy. This is not it.
What's up,
Work
Richard?
with
Shout out
those
to you
that
and Andrew.
operate housing in this city through deliberation and proper process. Thank you for your
You
consideration.
survived the Malibu quake. I don't know how you did it, Oscar.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to take 3 more calls.
Like you give a fuck, dog. You just want to
Caller,
get up
please
out of
state
there,
the
huh?
items you'd like to speak on.
Can't wait. Motherfucker can't wait to get up out of there. Like
Caller, last
you ain't
4
done a
digits,
goddamn thing all
33,
goddamn
54.
day. Except for drink coffee and sidebar, motherfucker.
This is Carmen Montoya Hill, and I guess I'm speaking on 11 and 12.
Yes, the tenant protections. Go ahead.
Nah, the professor.
Yeah, so I'm
No,
for the tenant protection, the permanent tenant protection. And also, I sympathize with these landlords. I'm a tenant, and I live in the Chesapeake apartments. And so I do sympathize with the landlord. But in my case, this is more of a corporate, landlord. And so we need, protection to
Looks like bubbles.
so anyway, I think that
Is that Marcel?
you guys should, pass the 12 and 13 items. So I don't know, I'm kind of nervous. I never made a call. So yeah, I mean, I don't have too much more to say, but I do sympathize with the landlords because my mom was a landlord when we were young, but now I'm a tenant, and we need protections. And like I said, I live in a Chesapeake apartment, and I've had nothing but problems with them. And when they do fix things, it's a Mickey Mouse job that they do, and there's nothing we could do about it. And I'm recently an ACE member, so they're helping me. So I applaud their efforts to, to help the tenants. So that's it. I'm done.
That's
you,
it. I'm
Speaker.
done.
And before we take up the next speaker,
Not
I've been
that it
asked to
matters.
announce that the
They're just doing nothing
Rules,
but talking up
Elections,
there
and
doing nothing anyways.
Intergovernmental Relations Committee, which was scheduled for 1 o'clock, is going to be canceled because we're clearly going to run quite late in council with this. So again, Rules, Elections, and Intergovernmental Relations Committee that was scheduled for 1 o'clock today is canceled. And now we can take the next speaker.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Let me just say, because of the interest on this topic, we're going to take 5 more calls.
Oh, 5 more. Thank you, bro.
To participate.
Thank you, big bro. It's very mighty kind of you.
Caller, please state the items you'd like to speak on.
Fuck out of here. You ain't going to listen to not one of them 5. I want you to keep an eye on his
I'm
ass.
calling, obviously, on the protections.
Sure. So you have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to speak, and please go ahead.
Okay, so with regard to the minimum threshold before you can evict someone, that's bad policy for tenants and for landlords, because when you set a minimum threshold, that's going to make rent go up. And so that's not going to help the people you say you're trying to help. And also, it puts landlords, small landlords, in a bad situation because there's no carve-outs for bad actors, and they can just abuse the policies, which they've been doing pretty well. And so you need to consider that this is going to create some unintended consequences. And if you do pass it, I mean, nobody's going to rent to those people because it's no one can afford to just continuously take on the burden that you're placing on small landlords, and not just mom and pop, but small landlords. Just because you have 5, 10, I mean, if nobody's paying, it all equals the same. And so you cannot just arbitrarily give a blanket across the board threshold without accounting for, given situations. You have to have some rules that apply to if someone's cheating, or they need to account for the fact that, communicate with the landlord what the situation is within a reasonable time, and if they don't or supply information, then they don't automatically get protections. I mean, you're just not being fair in your policy. You have to think of all parties concerned. This is what we voted, our politicians for, to be caregivers of all constituents, not just a few. So I'm asking you to do the right thing.
Thank you. So,
Thank you.
We're
Thank
taking
you.
4 more. So next one.
Thank you.
Caller, please state the items you'd like to speak on.
Hi, I would like to speak on 12 and 13, all items, please.
Absolutely. You've got 2 minutes, so please go ahead.
Peachy at 4:12 p.m.
Thank you.
My time.
Hi, Council. So here's the thing. So mom and pop landlords and small business landlords have all been complaining for years and months that we have tenants abusing the eviction moratorium just to avoid paying rent. Now, here's the problem. Now, I do see that you guys are telling the tenants on number 13. It does mention something about relocation, but here's the thing. Nowadays, landlords are now going to draft a rental agreement on the lease that's also going to include a waiver of any relocation costs, which means the landlord will not have to pay for that, and that's going to be on the lease from now on. I hope you guys understand that. Now, landlords have been complaining for months that their tenants are behind on rent and don't want to pay rent, and they're asking for some sort of relief. Now, I have an idea, like I've been proposing for the past couple of times when I spoke to you guys, when I made public comment. Why don't you guys give these landlords some sort of property tax credit so they don't have to pay property tax for the next 5 years just to recover back rent that they didn't receive from their tenants who haven't paid and are choosing not to pay. And I'm also encouraging the landlords, mom and pop or small landlords, to file a lawsuit in small claims court against their tenants and win a judgment against them so that they can at least pay the judgment, or they can go after them for the back rent. That's what I encourage people to do, is sue the tenant who is behind on the rent. So my idea is
Thank you, Speaker. Unfortunately, time's expired.
So unfortunately,
Caller,
you're
please state
making
the
too much
items you'd like to
sense.
speak on.
But that dude had a perfect idea. It helps the landlord recover the money because now, but the
item
IRS don't want that.
Great.
tenant
So,
protection?
The
you have 2
IRS.
minutes. Floor is yours. Please go ahead, Speaker.
Thank you. I am a small mom and pop landlord in the city. And I just want to say that I am in favor and have always been in favor of reasonable tenant protections. But what the city has done in the last 3 years and what they're proposing to do now is not reasonable. And I think the unreasonable thing is that you guys keep pushing the burden to shoulder these costs onto private landlords, be they big, medium, and especially the small ones. And that is just not fair. It's not good policy. Additionally, the LAHD report had no study of any effects of these potentially from these tenant protections. Giving people a threshold to not pay rent, I mean, essentially on a 2-bedroom at $2,222, someone could take off $200 a month and not meet this threshold for months and months. And you're really only hurting those giving the most affordable rents.
Lobster restitution.
These things just have massive implications. It's not smart policy. And you're playing into the hand of corporate developers because you're pushing out the smaller owners that just cannot shoulder this burden anymore. It no longer makes sense. It's too risky to be a landlord here, to build. I mean, I build small units, 2 to 4 units, and I'm looking elsewhere. There's other cities nearby where we can still do this, and there's reasonable regulations. We can still protect tenants without killing off all the small landlords and putting people into debt. I do believe that the county moratorium was extended and therefore covers the city of LA, so you should have an additional 2 months to actually give this some time and thought, like you should be doing before you pass such a sweeping regulation.
I think what they would do, Lobster, when they get the judgment is you get restitution. You won't want to pay. You don't have the money to
Caller,
pay.
please state the items you'd like to...
As soon as you have a job, what they'll do is deduct your paycheck straight. They will, before you even get it, and then they'll give it to the landlord.
Have 2 minutes, correct?
Little bits.
Yes, you have 2 minutes, and we'll
just
restart
little
your
bits
clock.
out of your check. $19
I
a
do
month,
believe
whatever
that
it
these,
is.
policies are being rushed without any consideration. I have a question, but I'm sure you guys won't answer because it's my time to speak. But the 10%, if we were to raise the rent 10% on a tenant, and they decide they can't afford it, they want to leave, and we have to relocate them and pay them moving costs, does that include if they were to move in an individual who's unauthorized? Because I have tenants who moved in individuals over the pandemic, 4 people, And next year, I'll be able to discuss with them whether I'm going to increase 10% per individual that's in the home, which is my right. And if I were to tell them that they have to have a rental increase of 40%, will that trigger them saying, we want to move and pay us? Because I believe that takes away that specific right. So if a person is allowed to say, I can't afford 10%, I'm going to move, pay me, what's to stop a person from doing that consistently over and over? Will there be a cap on a tenant from being able to do that? Because I would say you guys have to consider going back to the drawing table and saying, hey, let's look at that one option where landlords can raise the rent 10% for an added individual in the home. Is that being taken away from us? We're going to be too afraid to say, hey, you have too many people living here. Who are these people? They're not on the original lease. What are you doing to protect landlords from that specific right that the city allotted us back in the 80s? I don't understand this policy. I think it's being rushed. It's not being drawn up to put a cap on tenants from doing apartment hopping, because that's what they're going to do in order to fleece small landlords or landlords in general. Are you guys going to consider the right that we have to raise rents on individuals, on tenants who bring in unauthorized individuals into the home? Is that included in the policy, or is it across the board? 10%, no matter what, even if they bring...
Thank you,
Beep,
Speaker.
beep. I love the little fucking whistle in the back.
So this will be the last one per the...
I don't know what time the riots start.
Caller,
We'll see.
please state the items you'd like to speak on. Caller, last four digits, 2988. Please state the items you'd like to speak on.
And Lobster, just so you know, they abate.
Caller with the last four
They
digits,
abate landlords all the
2988.
time.
If you're there, please press *6 right away.
So when landlords are slumlords, they get abated, meaning
So
they
we'll-
keep
we'll-
the
we'll
rent,
try, one
the
last
rental
final
income
caller
until they
if we
fix
can.
everything on that abatement list. And I mean
Since
every
we didn't get that one, I
goddamn light
think
bulb.
The instruction is that
No, hold your
Try
money in an
one
escrow
more
account
speaker.
until you
Caller,
do so.
state the items you'd like to speak on.
And if you do not comply, it's eminent domain.
Caller, last four digits, 0094. Please press *6.
Especially if
So,
you're
speaker with last
remember
digit
also
0094.
if you're a Section 8 landlord, you have to do inspections every single year. Every year you have to have your property inspected by the housing department. And if it doesn't comply with their demands, then you have to fix it, and otherwise, like I said, they'll abate your money. They'll hold it
Hi, my name's Alexis,
until you
and my
Ooh, it's really hard
comply.
to hear you. Can you? Maybe
So it
you're
works
on a
both
speaker
ways,
on your end.
Lobster.
If you could speak directly into the microphone, that would be great.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, that's way better. Thank you.
Glory to God. Okay, so my name is Alexis. My family actually owns a lot of property around Los Angeles, around the Mert area. So I think tenant protection is very important, but I also think landlord is super important as well.
We'll see, Oscar.
A lot of property management. And
Please turn the volume up. We can barely hear the speaker. Can you turn the volume up, please?
I'm sorry?
Thank you.
There
That's better.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so
all
so
the
sorry about that.
sidebar
I'm on a
going
landline.
on.
I'm at the office right now, but
So, Speaker, we're going to restart your time. Please speak the way you're speaking now, because now we can hear you clearly.
okay, thank you. So I'm calling in regards to landlord protection. Love that we have the tenant protection in place, but over the pandemic, we have accrued so many expenses. Okay, when the tenants did not have to pay rent, there were still so many expenses, water bills that had to be paid, tenants that still needed repairs done on their homes, things like that. And I feel like because we do provide homes for tax-paying citizens in this city,
Right,
I
Red
feel
Fox.
like there has to be something put into place for the landlords. Like, you don't just throw all of that on the landlords because of the pandemic that you all created. Okay, the government created. Okay, there's an actual yeah. Anyway, so at the end of the day, we need landlord protection. That's what I'm advocating for right now, because our tenants owe us thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and they're saying that, oh, well, the government is supposed to be paying and making these disbursements on whatever, and it's not happening. So they're still there, and the eviction process is wild. Okay, so at the end of the day, you need to honor the people that have literally built this place, which are my ancestors. Okay, my grandmother helped build everything of Baldwin Hills, Overhill, Slauson area, Lamert Park, all of that, my ancestors. So there needs to be something implied. And we're not even that, I wouldn't even consider us a mom and pop because we do have so many properties, but therefore there still needs to be something for us to be protected. This is not all about the tenants. We need somewhere to live too, and guess what? If they owe us thousands and thousands of dollars, we'll be evicted as well, you understand? So that's ridiculous. Do something about this. We are businesses that are paying and housing your tax-paying citizens.
Truth. You notice how they're not listening? Hear
We're
all the
owed at least that.
See, they turned the volume up, so now you can hear all the sidebarring. You can hear all the talking. Nobody giving any two fucks, not one fuck given by anybody in that room. And now you can hear it all
I'd
going
like to
on.
announce that we're canceling Energy and Environment Committee this afternoon to be continued at a later date.
Thank you.
It's just it's 30 sidebars in a row. That's all it is. These people don't give a fuck about you. They don't care what you say. It's all it is the dog and pony show. It's no different than when the mayor shows up to some graffiti cleaning and grabs a paint roller and rolls his sleeves up and does the little picture of him painting. You know, it was 2 swipes, not a fucking drop of paint on him, not a bead of sweat on his fucking forehead. But he was out there working hard today, cleaning up with the city. This is the same shit right fucking here. To say we gave him a chance to talk. We weren't listening, of course, but we gave him a chance.
Do you need to set us up for closed session?
That's all it is.
Yes. So
these 2 pigs, especially that one.
Want to go into close, so we can go into closed session.
God damn fucking pig. That's all they are. Fucking swine.
For the public,
all of them.
It will be a seamless closed session. But you should know that as before, Mr. Price and Mr. Krikorian are recusing on item 12 because they own applicable rental units in sufficient numbers. We will make sure that they are not included in the closed session on item 12. Again, it's going to be seamless from the public, though. So we can go into close, Mr. President.
Thank you. And just
thank you, Mr. President.
Clear, Mr. Price and I will leave the closed session except for those matters in which we are not.
Get in the middle of the room and suck his dick.
So with that, sergeants, please prepare the room for closed session.
Should give him the mushroom stamp right in front of everybody. Give me the mushroom stamp. Oh, we get the little fucking elevator music now. Fuck out of here. Are they done? Are these cocks done? Oh man, what a bunch of bullshit. Boy, oh boy, man. I gotta laugh at it, dude. Yeah, I gots to laugh at it, man. I really do, because that's, the only thing you can do. Just the biggest stack of shit. Yeah, I think it's a wrap for today with them. But I'm going to take a quick look to see if the riots have started yet, which I don't think they have. I think you guys are, I think it's riot free at the moment. Oh, but I'll tell you what it is. Look at these people having fun. Oh, she just lost her hat. Her hat black. Oh, that's her purse. She was going so fast in a circle and fucking blasted off. She lost her backpack. That's what it is, dude. That's what I'm saying. For that backpack to whip off you, you was going. Dude, she was jamming, dude. All right. Give me a sec here, guys. I'm going to look to see if anything's going on while you guys watch this live in Bryant Park in New York. Watch some people fall possibly or smash into each other with the fun little bumper cars on the ice, which I definitely would like to try. I can't even lie. That shit looks like fun. That'd be a fun smoke and scan event. Everybody meet up and fucking blast each other out. Okay, live protest. Let's see. Let's see if we get anything with a live protest. Live. It's a live. Malaysian protest in Malaysian Muslims protest Quran burning in Sweden. I'm looking. Give me a sec here, guys. Let me turn this up too. Hear a little crime here in the city. Put the scanner up so I'm not the only one talking. But I'm looking, and it doesn't look like anything is even...
715-867, additional on the ADW in progress, I assume on Weddington. Suspects 2 male Armenians wearing all black, 6 feet. Currently on Magnolia, so I assume a victim is on Cleon and Weddington.
All right, so you got an ADW, assault with a deadly weapon. Call there. You just shroom with those colors. I'm just tripping out on some shroomies. Shroomies. Let's see. I don't know. This shit isn't live. They say this is live, but I don't see it. There's no way. How could it be light there and it's light here? There's no way. No way. That shit ain't live. That's some live video of a live recording that you made from the other day, maybe. That shit ain't live.
0236 Woodley Avenue, apartment 50. It's code 210-2214, 1749.
Sorry, guys. I'm not purposefully not paying attention to you. I'm working. I'm trying to find you something here, so please bear with me for just a sec. Not finding fucking anything. Even the live bullshit ones I was going to show you there, they're not. Their camera's flipping back and forth. They trying to get us. Where is this supposed to be? This is in New York. This is in Bryant Park, New York. If that's what you're asking. And I'm looking for the riots, which 100 people at least have told me is supposed to start tonight. Old Anquifa are calling for unrest, apparently nationwide, somebody said there. So I think it was Oscar. So, yeah. Well, we shall see. We shall see. I'm seeing. Let me see. Yeah, see, I'm watching even the news there. They're talking about the story live right now, but there's not anybody on the streets or anything like that.
There was shooting occurred 2 hours ago at San Pedro, Manchester, on the northeast corner. The suspect vehicle is a white SUV. No further information. The suspect, a male black. No further description. A weapon used was a blue steel semi-automatic handgun. Weapon still outstanding. Its information on incident 2100.
Let's try this. Let's try it this way. I'm just trying a different way. See if it comes up any different, guys. Just give me a moment.
Christina Venos on suspect are now 45th in Vermont. Last seen walking on 45th away from the Coliseum. Suspect male, Hispanic, backwards hat, gray hooded sweater, black shorts, broke PR's vehicle window with his hand. PR still visual code 2 incident 215 RD 1204.
Busted, dude. He busted the car window with his hand. His hand must hurt.
Hollywood units on trouble 7130 Fulton Avenue, 7130 Fulton Avenue, inside apartment 31. Second-hand information. Car's cousin sent text requesting PD. Possible domestic violence involved. Code incident 2221 RD 1521. The handle identified.
Oh, I can't do it like that. Let's see. They are talking a press conference. I'm gonna show you the press conference. I can't put give me one moment and I'm gonna put the audio. I gotta get it on this side in order to get the audio. So just please bear with me for just about 10 seconds here. Hopefully I'll find it.
CNN reporter, Chief, do you believe that you have some culpability in what occurred? And this is something I try to tell all my men and women in the city of Austell and my command staff that's here to support.
This is live right now, guys.
I don't care if we're home sleep.
In Memphis.
Which most of us are at times. We're the chief, so we're home, right? We're home resting, relaxing with our families while our men and women out here working hard. But if something goes on with one of my police officers, yes, I should be held accountable. I hold my command staff accountable. I hold all our supervisors accountable. We're going to be held accountable. Because again, it's not always about following policy. You can yell policy and write policy all day long. What it really boils down to is what culture has been cultivated within your police department. Because that's what your officers are acting on is the culture, not the policy. So us as police leaders need to make sure that we're monitoring that, and we're calling people on the carpet if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Because again, it's about the culture, and the culture starts with me, the police chief. So again, my thoughts, my prayers go out to the Nichols family. And again, just thank you for allowing us to have this platform. God bless. I messed up. Following me now is the chief of police of Powder Springs, Chief Cobb.
Say Palm Springs. Is there Palm Springs out there?
Good afternoon. I'm Lane Cadwell. I'm the chief of police for the city
Powder
of Powder Springs.
Powder Springs.
Hard to follow Chief Hamilton. He did a great statement. Our hearts in Powder Springs, our hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to the Nichols family.
Yeah, this is in Georgia.
The DA stated he holds us accountable and won't tolerate these type of actions, and Powder Springs does not tolerate this type of action, and we're very transparent and open in our investigations. If somebody has a complaint against our officers, we'll continue to be that way day in and day out. To echo what the other chiefs have said, we encourage your right to protest peacefully. We encourage you to reach out to the department and ask questions and get our assistance, and we will do everything to accommodate your peaceful protest. And that's what we ask at this time is if you choose to protest, just do it peacefully and within the law. Thank you.
There you go.
See,
well, you know that's going to happen.
We didn't practice it. Next to speak will be Deputy Chief Twaddell from Marietta Police.
I'm Deputy Chief Twaddell with the Marietta Police Department. I will just want to say I'm, as others have said, thankful for the opportunity that DA and the sheriff have given us to be here today to show that we are in support of each other and we do work together. The Marietta Police Department has a long history of working with the community, and we will continue to do so, and we welcome any conversation with the community. We also feel the same heartbreak as you do and others do when these acts happen, and our hearts are with the Nichols family, and we do support everything that is going on. I would like to say that anyone, as others have said, anyone that is wanting to show their heartbreak and their anger, we understand that, and again, we have worked with many organizations over the years and will continue to do so. Please reach out to us and we'll help you any way we can. Again, we just also ask that it stay peaceful and that we continue to work together in the memory of the Nichols family and not let it be taken in a different direction. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have a number of community groups who are here. We're going to invite up first the Cobb County Ministerial Alliance to say a few words.
DIY parking lot suspect is a male or medium.
You see, we did not rehearse this either. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank, on behalf of the Cobb Ministerial Alliance, I want to thank Sheriff Owens and to DA Brody and to all of the police chiefs from around our community. Thank you for bringing us together today. Thank our community for coming together even
usually
now.
Is Cameron.
Such a time as this. I was commenting to other ministers that the police chief in Memphis, Chief Davis, calls Cobb County her home. She and her family worshiped at Shaw Temple, where I served as pastor for many years.
Thanks,
certainly,
Detective.
I've been in
Shout out to you and the
communication
rest
with
of London.
she and her family, and certainly we're praying for her as she leads that department during this difficult time. We're praying for the Nichols family as they have to grapple with what's going on in their lives even now. What happened in Memphis can happen anywhere. And so we've got to be vigilant. We've got to be prayerful as a community. We've got to keep the lines of communication open, as has been said. We've got to be responsible in our communities for each other. We thank you so much for coming together, and I echo what has been said earlier today, is that when we protest, when we demonstrate, let us do it lawfully Let us do it peacefully.
Boy, they're all mentioning it, so they know it's coming.
So
They
now
know it's
we'd
a
like
coming.
To invite up the representative for the Cobb County SCLC branch.
And again, CNN says burning police cars and looting and busting windows is peaceful. So I don't know exactly what's peaceful to one and is not peaceful to the other, I think. So I don't know. We might all have a different idea of what peaceful is.
I am conflicted because in this moment of tragedy, I see triumph. Emmett Till's mama insisted that the casket be open. She did not accept the invitation to shield that from the public eye. And from that evolved another aspect of the movement for criminal justice reform, social justice generally. So I want to continue to be honest with you. The tragedy can move us in this community, smoke, and also our law enforcement partners to triumph. We are gathered here in large part to stand not as a blue wall, which has traditionally been the time when law enforcement has come together. Your coming together today is historic. I see now an open door. You represent an open door. You are publicly saying, we have learned and we are in support of the very courageous action taken by one of your colleagues. And in doing that, you align yourself with her as a member of your organization. And to me, that is historic. Been in this movement stuff since 13, over 60 years. And this is the first time ever, Deanne, we've been out there knocking on doors, banging, trying to push folk in position. To be honest, have integrity, do your job. And that goes a long way in building the kind of trust, transparency, truth in law enforcement. So let's not move past this so quickly that we do not see out of the tragedy comes triumph. I am more proud of our law enforcement leaders in Cobb County than I have ever been. And I've been proud of you guys for a good while. But now, to publicly say to our community and the rest of the world, we support the actions and behaviors of the chief in Memphis. Quick, decisive, unambiguous in the handling of a matter such as that. Now, in the mix behind your commitment here leads me to believe that you will certainly not lag behind what in fact we see, and I think together as we move forward, we will in fact use this occasion. We've got tragedy, we've got courageous victims, we've got courageous leadership. That is a powerful cocktail for transformation. So I too am extremely proud to be in this moment, that I've lived on long enough to see this. And also the new expectations that they have provided to us in terms of how our law enforcement agency here in Cobb County will perform. Thank you so much.
Why did he walk away from the table?
Ms. Bonner from the Cobb County chapter
As he was
of the
talking, it was
NAACP.
kind of funny there. You know, finish what you're saying and then walk away.
Good afternoon to DA Brody and Sheriff Craig Owens. We, the Cobb County NAACP, want to say how proud you all make us today. As Ben has said, this is an historical event, but we know that Cobb County has been in the forefront on most things. But we're here just to see all of these police chiefs, the DA and the sheriff. This is truly historical, and we say to each and every one of you, we are glad to stand with them.
Well, you guys all went in on the mask.
Thank you. And now I would like to invite up a representative from the Cobb County Coalition for Public Safety.
Good afternoon.
Jesus Christ.
Follow Dr. Ben and Ms. Bonner. We have been working here in Cobb County as the Cobb Coalition for Public Safety since approximately 2015. And in that time, building relationships with multiple of our law enforcement agencies. And I echo Dr. Ben and Ms. Bonner in saying that this is a day that shows us the fruit of community and police cooperation. I think, though, that my message continues to be echo those of our law enforcement agencies. Those of you who have understandable anger, sadness, angst at the happenings in Memphis, please stay peaceful. That is truly would reflect community and law enforcement cooperation. To show your feelings, but do so in a way that does not incur added difficulties. Thank you very much.
In fact, you can go back and see that I refused to make masks
We also have a
from
representative
day one.
from the Austell Alliance.
I refused.
Community Task Force.
Community Task Force, I'm sorry. Austell.
All that's
Community Task Force,
doing
I
is,
apologize.
aiding and abetting the shamdemic. You know what I mean?
Good
That's all it
evening,
was
everyone.
doing.
Again,
People making their own mask, buying $1 mask from the corners. Fucking guy who's selling elote too. Like, come on, get the fuck out of here, dog. You know this shit don't work. Regardless, let's get
I will
over
say
the
this,
sham.
like Brother Williams, I was
I
a
won't
bit
prop up.
conflicted when this all came up, but the Austell Community Task Force has always been a voice of the community, and with the Justice for All Committee, which I am the chair, we've also been a catalyst to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community. And what I'm seeing here today, again, we've heard the words historic. We've heard the words that you don't see this every day, and you don't. And I am proud I am proud and I'm hopeful, but more than that, I am confident that we will find triumph in this tragedy, that this won't be just something that we will do and then it goes back to business as usual. These people behind me have always been at the forefront. I've worked with some of them, and they've got a lot of compassion for the community. And I appreciate that, as well as the community. So what I will say is that as we go forth, let us go forth not, I know there'll be anger, I know there'll be angst, but let us go in anticipation of a better tomorrow, of a better future, of a better time when there will be complete cooperation, complete transparency, complete accountability for the community and law enforcement. And we will work together in unity to make this community what it can and should be.
Much love to Dash. Rest in peace, Dash.
Cool heads prevail.
Thank you, Shy Shy.
And I'm going to sit down.
Sorry about Dash. My condolences.
And then finally, we have a representative from the Cobb County Democracy Center. Report.
Poor little Dash.
And afterwards, we'll open the floor again for two, maybe a third, but probably just two questions.
Oh, boy.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Well, as a representative of the Cobb County Democracy Center, what we're seeing is democracy in action.
Can't unhook the muzzle.
Where you have people coming together to represent a cause. And community, and I'm just going to piggyback off what you just said, community is with unity. And I can't think of how more unified you can be, because giving service is an act of love, and I think you said that it's service, and it is an act of love. And so that's what, if we leave here today with anything, just loving one another. And when you do love, your heart is a little more transformed, and it erases some of the pain. It's going to hurt, but it eases some of the pain, and I think that's what we have to lead with. So thank you all for everything. We really appreciate y'all, and very proud to be a Cobb County resident at this point. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you to all of our members of law enforcement and to our speakers here today. Again, we'll just open the floor for two questions. So please stand, state your name and your organization.
Oh, here we go. Riggle, Marietta Daily Journal. For Chief Van Hooser, can you tell us, are you making any particular preparations ahead of this weekend or anything logistical you're doing?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We have and I'll be a little vague here, but we have a three-phase approach, basically, that we have in place to not react, be proactively ahead of any potential issues on the downside, and also to be in a cooperative stance for people that wish to speak and be heard so that we can basically help them. We do cooperate with groups that wish to be heard. We'll help them find places to park. We'll help them with the location and explain the laws and so forth and communicate with them in an ongoing fashion so that if it starts going a direction that it shouldn't go, we have good communication. And we, in the past, we've had great success with local groups that wish to speak, and we cooperated with them. And sometimes join them. You know, we join the message. We support the message in most cases because the message is something we believe in. But yes, we do have, and staying away from specifics, based on what we see happening across the nation, Atlanta and GBI have done an incredible job of communicating with us to keep us abreast of what's going on in Atlanta. And we have a three-phased approach that will help us react to anything that might happen in Cobb County. Thank you.
Michelle Holt, WSBTV. This is for all of the police chiefs and Sheriff Owens. Have you guys received any requests or even notification from organizations or any community members telling you that they would like to have peaceful protests this weekend? Or are they planning anything?
It's probably better for the chiefs.
I'll speak to Cobb County. We have not, but we have had personal contact with our community leaders that you see in this room. And we know from past experience they often do want to do something. And it's always extremely lawful, peaceful, and done with our assistance. And I would be, nobody's seen the video, nobody in the public, I have not seen the video, we're not really sure what to expect. And I think they're in the same mode that we are. Wait to see what we see. If they wish to have their voice heard. I believe that all of our community groups will reach out to us proactively, and we are working with the other chiefs and with Sheriff Owens to make sure that we have a comprehensive response to that. I really can't speak really to the cooperation level that we've seen this time versus past times. The information flow has been great. So I have not had any. I'm not aware of any of the cities having any, but I'll let them speak for themselves. Thank you.
So it looks like a no.
Looks like a no. So again, everyone will still be available for a few moments afterwards, but I do want to say this as a point of personal privilege. When you write the story, when you report on it today, I hope you will also not just talk about the law enforcement or talk about the community members, but talk about what makes this press conference unique, and that is where you have the members of law enforcement community and the community representatives of organizations standing shoulder to shoulder, not again as a show of force, but as a show of support, both for the Nichols family and for all the things that made Cobb County great. Thank you.
Cut that real quick here. Let's. Hold on, guys. This is from Memphis, this radio. Hold on. Wait, what am I doing? All right, there's Cobb County. All they have is public safety for Cobb County. All right, I'm just looking around. I mean, I'm listening to the Memphis Police Department there, but I hear the public safety for a moment on Cobb. Let's listen to it. I'm trying to think. Atlanta's Fulton County, right? I'm pretty sure it is, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is. Fire rescue. So yeah, nothing really going on. Nothing really going on. Let me stop. Just trying to flop around to see if anything's kind of popping off, you know, without us knowing.
November.
They have a lot for Fulton County, so if it pops off in Fulton County, we're good to go. Unless, of course, that's the problem too, guys. When you have to rely on the apps, they'll shut the apps down. Oh, not the app itself, but those particular frequencies on the app, they'll shut down occasionally. So that is a problem. Let's hope that doesn't happen. That's their little form of encryption without encrypting in a sense. But, yeah, man. Hopefully, you know, I don't know. You guys all have the same consensus, and they seem to have the same consensus because they all said the same thing. And I'm hard pressed to think that they're telling the truth, at least when they're saying that they've never seen the video. I'm pretty sure they saw it, but I don't know. I'm not gonna, you know, speculate. I guess DeKalb County too. Yeah, there's definitely some for them. And, you know, again, I don't know I would assume if Georgia pops off, you'd think that, wouldn't they be in Atlanta? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you think Memphis will be ground zero? So, I mean, we have the Memphis, but you know what? That's, hold on. Yeah. I just think that the Memphis they're giving us here, I believe, because I'm just looking at the browser, I think it's Memphis, Tennessee versus Memphis, Georgia. I'm looking though, just to be sure. I mean, it's on the top 100 feeds. Yeah, it just says Memphis Police, Shelby County. Does anybody know if that's right? If it's in Shelby County? Yeah, Fulton is definitely in Atlanta. That's what I figured. But, yeah. I mean, even the top one is Waukesha County, and that's not even in Georgia, I believe. Waukesha's in Wisconsin, isn't it? Something like that.
Well, go ahead.
Is that where it happened, Apache Dog? Oh, okay. Yes, in Shelby. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's go back to that one. Thanks for letting me know, guys. All right, so here we go.
They will be in service.
All right, so there you go. This is their
916. Pull up on a different vehicle at 7630 Polo Grounds. Randy Madonna is advising his 2015 Nissan.
Shelby's in Tennessee.
And several other vehicles on the lot have been broken into.
I'm all mixed up right now.
916.
I'm all mixed up.
962 from precinct.
I thought there was a... I know there's Memphis, Tennessee. I figured there might have been a Memphis, Georgia. You know, there's Hollywood, California. There's Hollywood, Florida. I think there's another Hollywood, too, actually. There's 3. But, yeah. So now we got it on. So now we got the Memphis Police and Shelby County Sheriff. Both. So they're both. National Guards in Atlanta already, IB?
Yes, ma'am.
Pasadena, Texas. Pasadena, California. That's right. All right, so we'll listen to it for a sec here. You know, hop off soon.
115 on the call. Disregard 115.
I just want to do a quick little glance to see if we get anything that might be happening before we, you know what I mean? Before something. I want to hear it before we see it, kind of thing, you know.
I see a school bus.
Jesus,
I'm not sure if it's in, but it's parked right across from the state park. It's two school buses pulling up.
She got the hot mic.
It's what now? It's echo. What? It's 2 school buses pulling up. There's one that looks like it's coming towards the precinct now. Okay, check. 126 is supposed to be back en route to let's see. Check on that information.
Yeah, it's kind of quiet. But, I mean, that's the whole point, though. You know, you just want to kind of see what's going on. See if anything is really popping off or not, you know. It's the best way.
So you can see the Bravo Chicago does not step on these shoes.
Do a little scanning. Let's see if anything's popping off. I just think that usually, you know, you wait till almost sundown-ish time. You know, because some people are at work, too. They want to go out and join the protest kind of thing. So.
B35 gray in color. Tragedy just occurred. The 4014 Outland, 972 Charlie.
I'm looking, guys. I'm not just sitting here dicking off. I'm actually looking for feeds right now on the other computer. While you guys are staring at the helicopter feed. I think they all bailed out, if I'm not mistaken. I think all 5 were bailed out. Not quite. Pretty sure.
Indian transport at 1536.
Purge alert.
Take off from me south Ridgeway. Check 6371. Are you en route? Are you following the vehicle?
Sundown, you'll see all the carnage. I mean, sun up.
All cars be on the lookout for a black Infiniti that drove off from 6371, the area of Ridgeway and Permanent Parkway at 1537 WPAJ 81.
So nothing there. Thought that might have been a decent little call coming in. But no. But no, bro. There isn't anything. I'm looking so deep into this shit. I haven't found one feed yet of anybody's shit. Let me do this too, though. Let me look on Facebook too. As much as I hate fucking going on Facebook, let's go on Facebook and see what the fuck on fuckbook. Get me on fuckbook.
See Parkway and Ridgeway in Tennessee Tag Bravo.
It's too early for the rides, yeah.
0347 at 1538 WPAJ 81.
Riots are too early. Well, the riders aren't up
I'm gonna
yet.
call y'all.
They're not up
You're
yet.
not holding
They're
any
still
calls
sleeping. They're sleeping.
Josh, you've been through. Check. Check. Go ahead and take a film.
Check. Ridgeway Station Robinson Signal C 1538 WPAJ 81.
Bishop Lamont Whitehead. Then we got 290 watching. Shout out to Bishop. I don't see anything, guys.
Man, DOA 317 1538
You
WPAJ
think
81.
Minneapolis is definitely going off, Jennifer? Think so?
I just left the PF Chain parking lot when I spotted. Check 6371.
Yeah, I'm looking even on Facebook.
Yeah, it was occupied 4 times. One of the subjects is on the red hood. I can see the other one. The black, on the side, that on the red hood.
Oh, rally at the cap? No, that's... No.
Check 6371.
That's political bullshit.
Hey, well, you in your ward and you still never pieced the precinct area.
Yeah, I don't see nothing, guys. Nothing that pertains to this. Yeah, Mark, unfortunate. But another one happened today. Let me put this. Oh, that's...
We got a series.
That's spelled wrong. That's spelled
wrong.
She didn't give one only try for that.
No, I'm just finding old candlelight vigils and stuff for the scene. Yeah, there's nothing live, guys. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But none of that is live. It's alive, but I will give you this. This is live.
Charlie, pull over to the med for release, not 24 Bravo.
I'll smoke one bowl with you, then I'm out.
32. It's a med.
Live at Snow Summit. Live shots at Snow Summit. That guy's got the slopes all to himself. He's fucking loving it right now. Friday. It's beautiful. No skiers in sight going down that big fucking hill with him. That's the way you want to do it.
6520 seen at the precinct. 10 miles, 92439.
Good old Snow Summit. Take a look at Mammoth, too. There is Mammoth. There's a live shot of Mammoth. As you can see, the nice long line. Sick pow everywhere. Nice long line to get on the lifts. Oh, boy. Look at that shit. It's packed. Everybody partying, getting some hot cocoa, smoking a joint. Boy, it is a Friday packed-in. Boy, you just wait, and it's only going to get more packed. Only gonna get more packed. And look at the lift going up. Every fucking one of them packed. Some 4 deep. Look at that one. They're fucking 4 deep.
Location.
That motherfucker's hanging to the side. That's why you can't put the fat guy at the end like me. Shits will fall off to the side. It's his fault, man. Didn't this even us out?
411 Bravo.
Yeah, they got a lot of snow in Mammoth. And we got another snow storm coming. We got another one coming. Ah, Derek Garcia, thank you.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure.
I'm smoking some Flow right now. The F-L-O, the Flow. So that's pretty nice. It's pretty nice, man. Get up to Mammoth, man. Go get up there. Go get up there, man. Get your ass up in there. Sure enough, we'll have some fun in the snow, man. Tonight we'll be busy, you think? I'll tell you what, man. I always think that a lot of times when we hype it up in our heads and think, oh, man, well, there's got to be riots, it doesn't tend to pan out. It's when you're not thinking about it, all of a sudden, boom, the shit hits the fan. You know, so sometimes I know you guys have a lot of anticipation. I don't anticipate much. That way I'm not let down if nothing happens. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Have I had a show in a Quake Hits? Yeah, I've had 2, Sav. But they were little baby ones, just enough to know that it, was shaking. Never a good one. But, we haven't had a good one in a while. I mean, everybody was flipping out on the 4.2 in Malibu.
Sure.
I was driving at the time, back from Jeremy. You guys remember? You were watching me. I was out live with Jeremy. And, of course, 2 earthquakes hit. Second, him and I, leave. That's our luck. Yeah. So I was on my way home. Didn't even fucking feel it. I mean, nothing. If you didn't tell me, it would have right over my head. That's why I keep telling you. If it isn't 5.0 or bigger, don't even worry about it. Even at 5, it's like, it shakes. It's a good little decent one, but it needs to be over 5 in order to get going.
Attempting to remove a female white from a white pickup with King coming at the bottom. It was all time in Watkins College and holding for quite some time, 425. Support your service.
Yes, sir. It's from the Academy of Rochester.
For that about.
He loves Dee. He loves his papa.
Both number or what the complaint is? 442.
He's big, Ryan. He's a big boy now.
She's can I get a 1575? What's the profile?
Just a big baby.
Bravo.
You're just a big baby. Dee loves you. You're my big baby. Do I have insurance for Stinks? No. No, I don't. Should I be biting him? Bite me? Why do you want him to bite me?
Bite Cobb 2113.
Just giving him love and pieces.
Involved in a fight 2113 Brown 429.
He loves love and kisses. I mean, does it seem like he doesn't like it? Staying here the whole
Right,
time.
actually, you're right. Valentine and Watkins, I'm sorry. 416. Pull over to that fight college, 2113 Brown. 2113 Brown regarding a large student fighting. 416.
He loves. He's just a big baby. He is handsome. You're a handsome baby kid. Love you. You're my best friend.
So let's complain and get his belongings. 2707.
You're my son.
Check.
Yeah, earthquake insurance is really useless in the sense.
2169.
Because dude, you'd be paying in for 30 fucking years or more. And once in 30 years, you might have a quake that does some damage to your house, and it ain't doing much. It's a fucking joke. Meanwhile, all the 30 years you paid in could have easily fixed anything that quake did in damage. So, yeah. Where's Stink's bong? He doesn't have a bong. He doesn't like the weed. He hates the smell of it. I mean, you just open the jar and he gives you that face.
When did you read the call? It's going to be at 8:40. East Tridworth, a male subject with a warrant.
I won't nuclear. I won't tell him. They might. Oh! He's gonna get mad. Oh, you're biting now. Oh, llama. Kisses then bites. Bites then kisses.
413, a suspicious call at Cannon Street, 1150 Cannon. The command of
Ow! Why your bite so big? Why you're biting daddy so bad? Ow! Why you're biting dad so bad? Ow! Shy, thank you so much. Again, I'm sorry for the loss of Dad. He looks like that. Yeah, he bit me good right there. He was biting me good. I don't know why.
Infinity there in Tennessee, Bravo, Juliet, Mike, 03.
No, not bit.
4 times.
Bit me good, though. Can't see it.
Ridgeway and Prempton Parkway.
Love bites, yeah. Little stankums. He wants food is really what he wants. Now I look like a cutter. That's funny. I just noticed this. It got all red all of a sudden. I look like a cutter. Thanks, man. Everybody can think I'm suicidal now, bro. It's okay, damn it, if you need to talk. What do you mean, man? Well, I can see your wrist, and let's talk. No, man, it's the cat. Damon, it's okay. No, bro, I'm serious. It was just the cat. He was biting me. Damon, no excuses. We need to talk. It's time to have a talk. Right? I'm going to have the intervention, the forced intervention, because I'm all scratched up. It's not bleeding. It's just scratched. It's just little scratches. And it looks like somebody, they're like kind of even. Kind of looks like I fucking scratched me. I cut myself. Oh, you can't see. It's too white. Too much light. Too much light. I've been okay, Ruska. I've been okay. Just trying to get by in life. All right, I'm going to smoke this last bowl with you guys, and then I'm going to hop off here by 2 o'clock, and then I'll see you guys at 9, unless something pops off crazy. We'll be on at 9 p.m. as we normally do. Yeah. So I gotta come in here and do some of the stats work and do a few of the drops that I wanted to put in. So yeah, I got some new stuff I found that I want to put in. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun in the sun. Oh yeah.
Officer Catterton, Catterton.
Oh, Guys, I finally got the phone robbery one. Remember how we're always getting robbery calls for a phone? Remember, and I told you guys, I was like, man, didn't that happen in Clueless? So I went back and I found Clueless, and I took I took the drop from there.
Give me the phone. Okay. Bag too. Come on.
Robbed her for her bag and a phone.
Guy with a gun held me up, took my money and my phone, and he yelled at me and he forced me to ruin my dress.
He forced me to ruin my dress. That shit is too funny, man. She was too funny in that movie. She really was. Forced me to ruin my dress. The best is there when she goes and takes the goddamn fucking driver's test, smashing into everything, fucking it all up. Did I pass? There's somebody else that I gotta talk to. There's gotta be somebody else. Lady, I'm the messiah of driver's license. Yeah, I'll see you tonight. Let's flip over here. Go back to Snow Summit for a little minute. Let's see what Snow Summit's like. You see some people up there. Look. Coming on down. The big slope. The triple diamond. Triple black diamond, bruh. All right, guys. Smoke. See, it's weird. Now they're kind of like going away. How weird is that? They weren't red. Then they got red. Now they're kind of going away. It's really odd. All right, Sam. Freddie, I do use that. Problem with that is a lot of times you don't know what. A lot of times they're mislabeled. Or they're recorded really bad. You know, just somebody recording them off the television with like a fucking mic to their TV speaker kind of shit. And, you know, it's easier just to find the movie online for that particular scene. And I have a large array of movies too. So I can always pull a DVD out myself. And funny enough as it is, I have one of those old fucking Mac laptops, one of them that still have a DVD drive in it. So, which obviously, they don't make those DVD drives anymore. So I can play DVDs on the fucking laptop directly into the sound machine. Just link them together. That's why I'm stoked today. That's why I turned the camera off. I thought that someone was at the door. I was waiting for that Amazon package. That right hand. I got the little 2-inch right hand angle cord. So that way it's supposed to hopefully connect the phone to the gimbal. And then I do what I was doing last time. The base of the gimbal to a energy pack, a battery pack in my vest. So that way the pack's charging the gimbal and the gimbal's actually charging the phone. And we got 3 hours before I got any problems to where I had to start taking it off the gimbal, and you guys saw that and it got annoying. So I'm trying to figure out just ways to get around it. That's all, to make the viewing experience better, And we'll get past it. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's little hiccups. And, I'm always telling you guys, it's like never just one thing, right? You buy a camera, it's not just the camera. It's the right angle cord. It's the battery charger. It's the other cable to the battery charger. So, yeah. It's all that. This is all that. What are you doing, Stinks? Going after my toes. He's having fun right now. He's having fun. I love you, buddy. Damon has been let out. What are you talking about? Face orange, raise eyebrows? Huh? Why are we watching Skiers? Why not? Well, it's always fun to watch somebody bail. You know what I mean? I'm just showing people how nice it is because these are local resorts here in California. Mammoth and Snow Summit. So I just figured we'd see it, and there's nothing else to see. And I was about to get off here in a few minutes, so it gives you something fun to watch that's live. Yeah. The cat cam's already here, Turtle. I'm having trouble getting my buddy over here. He's been super biz because I have to have him, get over here and crop it properly. And then I want to take the one, like I said, that we're using now and put it on the floor because I have a feeling, he doesn't go on the tower all that much. So we bought a camera for, 25% use in that sense, unless I can figure out how to get him on the tower more often. So that way I can take the small one we're using now and put that under the table so when he's sleeping at my feet, you can see him. Make sense? So, yeah. Laser worm, I've already done the extra. It's not enough. I have the biggest Energizer battery that they make. It's the size of like a VHS tape. No joke. No joke. It's that big, that wide. So it charged the gimbal without a doubt the whole time. But what it wasn't doing is charging the phone because I didn't have the phone tethered to the gimbal. Why? Because when you try to connect the phone on a gimbal, it throws the gimbal off. And the gimbal starts to adjust when it doesn't need to. So that's the problem. The slightest movement will throw it off. That's why somebody saw this issue and created this particular cord. And that's what happened. These people were having these same problems with and this is the top of the line, best you can buy DJI gimbal. Best one you can buy. This is not a cheap old one. I bought the best we could buy, the newest one. So like I said, it's always little, what do you call it? It's always little, little things here or there. And the way you find out is by going out and doing it, and then you work over those issues. And then that way, if somebody else does what you're doing and they need help, you say, hey, bro, I ran into that. You know what I mean? This is how you fix it. You know what I mean? And that's how it works in my book. I do have an OnlyFans, man. I'll be showing my dick all day on there. People pay to see the meat. That's it.
That's me. That ain't me.
Tech is never ending. Unfortunately, right, Freddie, it's the way it is. Because then you'll buy something, and then a year later, it becomes obsolete because you'll have something way better. Right? It's terrible, man. It's terrible. Terrible. But it is what it is. That's why I use all the donation money to do those things. To make the viewing pleasure better by buying the stuff that we need. A lot of times it just sits there and stacks up, but that's fine. I don't see that there's a need that I need to rush out and spend it. It's these times where I'm glad that I have it because I can buy these things. I mean, sure, it was $11 cables, nothing. But you know what? You understand what I'm saying. If for some reason we needed some big amount of money to do something, we have it. So, yeah, and I got to tell you, I have some other stuff that I bought, and again, my father got sick. And then I had to start taking care of my father, so I had put all that on hold. And I never told any of you guys about that. It's stuff I bought, and I don't want to tell anybody about it till it's up and running because I don't want anybody stealing the idea. Because they will. And then when they do, you'll say, okay, well, that's kind of where they got the idea or whatever. So, yeah. I just, I'm going to put that to the side. It's still to the side, so I need to take care of that too. And my buddy's going to help me out with that and the cat cam. So that was the whole point. Get him over to here to take care of both with an F. SPM drops are the best. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, just gotta be patient with me. I mean, I'm not, I'm not the one that likes. I like to do things slow and do it right. in my opinion, than do it fast and do it wrong. And sometimes I don't even do it slow and do it right, you know? So it is what it is. Thank you, Scooby. That I'm not going to lie to you. All of what's happened to me in the last year or so has stifled my creativity towards the show. And I told you guys I felt kind of spread thin, trying to keep work going and help out with my dad and going through that and then still having to do smoke and scan. And, it's a lot, working and then coming home to work again and doing all that stuff. And to keep it all rolling, it's a lot. So, like I said, I'm glad that some of you guys have bared with me and been patient. And your patience will pay off, I promise. Definitely got to be calculated, Rob. And in this day and age of unoriginality, a lot of people are looking at you to copycat off you, I mean, fuck, shout out to SNS Highlights. I didn't know even realize it, but I mean, like, he's on Rumble, and I'm not even on Rumble, but my show's on Rumble. So, I mean, you just got to be careful what you do and where it goes, and you got to realize what you do. People are watching, and some people are just going to grab it and go, whether it's your entire show and get views through that way, or just see what you're doing and go grab a cat and try to do the same fucking thing. And, it is what it is. Well, I mean, rats, it should be, Tony, I just think it as, it is truly the ultimate form of flattery, right? That's how you know when you're doing something good, nobody's trying to take any of your ideas that aren't good, right? Like, when they counterfeit shit, they counterfeit the good shit. Why? Because everybody wants the good shit. So, trust me, you know me. I'm not the cocky dude. I'm not arrogant in any shape, form, or fashion. But I do believe that I have started something that is fun and is unique. And I was the first to do it, regardless of what anybody wants to say or do. So, like I said, there'll always be copycatters, but there'll only be one original, like them or not. Appreciate you, Cassie. Oh no, for sure, Ivan. You definitely, it's not even the haters, because what I've realized is, even with the people that like you, Ivan, nobody's gonna like everything you do. It just doesn't work that way. Okay? Like, you and I can paint a house and, they may like it, they may not, even though we did a great job. It's just, and some people are finicky. You can't please people. I've learned that with eBay. There's some of the most wild characters on eBay. Just don't understand life. So, and you're never gonna, like I said, please everybody. No matter what you do, making muffins, painting houses, detailing cars, or doing a show called Smoke and Scan, it doesn't matter. You're never gonna please everybody. So don't even try. Even the ones that like you. So forget about the haters that just hate everything that you do for a moment. You know what I mean? So you can't fall into that trap, in a sense. You just need to do you. And that's me, and I'm gonna do me. And it's unfortunate, but doing me causes us to lose family members sometimes because of my mouth. But on the same other side of that same token, my mouth also is what draws people. The fact that it's not prim and proper, that it's not staged, I'm not reading off a teleprompter, I speak from the heart. Without any filter. Some people are attracted to that, just like some people are not attracted to that. So it is what it is. I'm just going to keep doing me, and I hope that, you all show up. And, I'm not really here to offend anybody. I really am not. I'm just here to do me, man. I'm not here to push my thought on you. I want you to feel the way you feel, whether you agree with me or not, So it is what it is. All right, you guys have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. I need to feed Stinks. I need to eat myself. I need to do some sound drops. I need to do a lot of stuff. So, have a fantastic Friday. I will see you guys later at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So adjust to your time zones unless something pops off anywhere. I don't care if it pops off in Utah all of a sudden because of what went on in fucking Georgia. I don't care. Well, we'll as long as I can get it, we'll get it. More Little Lupe drops. Why you love Little Lupe so much? She does have a nice
pussy.
I'm going to hell, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to hell. And see right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is why some people come here. That right there is why some people come here. That's it. That's it. I mean, it's just, and it's unorthodox to be able to like alley-oop the drop to yourself. Like, that's a no-no. Like, you know, when you're doing sound drops on any other kind of show, you're not supposed to talk over it. You're not supposed to work with it. It is what it is. It's the sound and it is. Okay? You know? But the fact that I literally just like toss it up and slam it back down the way I did right there, she was pretty hot. All right, guys. Enough is enough. Thank you so much for joining me for everything, man. LA City Council meeting, all the other bullshit. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, VidLook, for that last little drop. Have a fantastic day, and I hope you all of you, I hope you all come back and hang out with me tonight. Or hang out with us tonight. Okay? So no matter what, keep that notification on. Thank you for the likes, the love, the retweets, the thumbs ups, the donos, and just the general support. I appreciate you. Because like I always say, I know you could spend your time anywhere, but you chose to spend it with us. And I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. I'm out of here.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, you guys. I'm a king.